Buenos días, meine lieben Freunde, und willkommen zurück zu Let's Play Danganronpa, Another Despair Academy. How Hiko died. Another terrifying murder took place. Gut, ich muss gar nicht sagen, was im letzten Part passiert ist, macht das Spiel wieder für mich. Danke dir, Maeda. The others came running soon due to the noise of the flashing and the thick smoke. And then the body discovery announcement came out. After these... Bin ich überhaupt laut genug? Moment mal ganz kurz. After these shocking things happened in an instant, we were... eating! Geil! Eating like crazy. I ate food so vehemently, as if trying to relieve my resentment. After Haruhiko's body being discovered, Monokuma immediately provided us with food. There were so many, we could eat as much as we wanted to eat. Since the murder has occurred, we have to investigate and of course have a class trial. But before all this, was eating. After eating as much as possible to recover our stamina, we must do our best to find the culprit who killed Haruhiko. To find the culprit who couldn't stand hunger and killed a friend, we continued to eat. As Haruhiko left us, there are only 7 people left in this place. Now, we are with Kindler and Macao here, filling our stomachs. Everyone didn't say anything, as if it was because of the shock, or because they had food in front of them that haven't seen for days. Except for one, Iwanami. Oh nein! Oh nein, guckt sie euch an, wie traurig sie ist! Nom. How? Nom. Why you? Nom. Hey, why are you being noisy? Eat or quiet. Let's do one at a time. I'm sorry. But... Nom. I'm sad. What? Nom. Can I do? It was Satsuki who was the closest like family to Haruhiko. So she must be the most saddened by the loss of him. Satsuki tried to stay as bright as possible in any situation, couldn't stand crying. Guys, listen while eating. I have a confession to make before we investigate. Actually, it was swayed a few times that I would do the killing myself a few days ago. I went in and out of the arsenal countless times. I don't have a face to show. I'm really sorry. It wasn't your fault. Anyone would have been swayed by it. Actually, I hesitated again and again. Yeah, it would be weird not to go crazy. I've been just picking people to die. I've been crazy, very mad, and even though I was crazy, I deserve to die 1,000 times more than Haruhiko. Kobasing! It's not anyone's fault. The bad one is Monokuma. Trying to make a murder take place. We have no choice but to go on a trial again. I'm satisfied. I've eaten now, so I'll begin investigating. I'll ask you to investigate as well, because you're not out of the crisis from dying, because you can't fail the trial, can you? Wait a minute, Kindlo! What do you want? Why are you so calmly asking for cooperation? And don't you have anything to say? Weren't you the one who forced people to commit suicide because you were completely out of your mind? You are not gonna say you don't remember, do you? After making a turmoil and being crazy? Didn't I tell you this? I won't treat you like criminals, only in the case of a class trial. Because I want to cooperate as much as possible. And I was crazy? I don't seem to remember that. Are you trying to fake it? You almost died because of you! Don't be mistaken! It's just that I don't have any crazy memories. I'm not soft enough yet to blow my mind only because I was hungry. Hä? Kindler, wait a second. Alter, irgendein Bastard spammt mich grad voll. Dieser Hurensohn, ich bring ihn um. Ach, das ist der Gruppenchat, scheiße. Hä? Kindler, wait a second. Say you're not crazy. Insane. Did you mean that? What about it? Then in your mind, after thinking, you really tried to kill us. In that situation, there was only one way to solve it without murder. That's crazy. You were hungry and sleeping, and she was always crazy. Why am I the one being suspected? I just acted to save you guys who didn't want to become preliminary criminals. What do you mean save? Death is not eternal. Ach fuck, ich hab's aus Versehen weggedrückt. Nein! It kind of religion? You want a word of apology from me? For me, saying apology means admitting that I did something wrong and express my apology. I did nothing wrong here. If you're looking for apologies, you guys should be the one to do it. You tied me up and confined me. Right now, we're going back and forth on the trial now. But at least I know how to take responsibility for my actions. You damned... Teruya, stop it! Kindlo, just as I thought. You're being very strange now. You simply hate crime, but it's not just that. The mood has completely changed from before. Kindlo himself doesn't know what's best for anyone. Because of that, you're being weird, isn't it? I told you to shut up, Maeda! Whatever both sides say, it remains on the verge of a class trial anyway. Focus on the investigation, not on this bullshit. Kindler-kun gets mad like that. It's really strange, as Maeda-kun said. Also denkt er jetzt, der hat alles richtig gemacht, oder wie? Okay. That guy, what happened? Why is he acting like that? Just a few things. Maybe it's for the best. As he said, the fact that we are on the verge of a class trial remains the same. Don't think just because we're free from here it's all over. Damn it, why does it have to be like this? Maeda, I understand you have mixed feelings. You guys are right. But for now, let's focus on the investigation. Satsuki, you too. For Haru's sake. Okay? Yeah, okay. Mann, ich dachte, dass ich gerade was weggedrückt habe aus Versehen. Mann, das wollte ich nicht. Prior to the investigation, we changed from our party outfits to our casual clothes that we no longer needed to wear. As a result, I was able to recover my student handbook and made it easier to move. Although Haruhiko's death was the cause of our escape, it would be in vain if the truth was not revealed as a subsequent class trial. It's the same story all over again. Kindlo, there were many problems ahead, but as my friend said, let's focus on the problem in front of us. The class trial is not to be taken lightly at all. Not to face it with thoughts that would disrupt our reasoning. Alright, investigation. I have to investigate from here on out as well. It wasn't the arsenal where the body was found. It was a lot better than before. And the smoke was still in full view at the time the door was opened. Haruhiko. Always trying to stay bright and keep us from dying. Oh Gott, ich habe irgendwas im Hals stecken. Moment mal, ich muss ganz kurz was trinken. I have a different mind when my heart thinks about my friends. Oh, Junge, ich habe so viele Nachrichten, was soll das? Even at this time, when I was at the ballroom, everyone was going crazy and our reasoning was erasing from our minds. Even though I was on the verge to kill. Why did you end up like this? I will reveal them. Because of his death, we are alive. I'll never make you deaf and vain. I'll survive for Haruhiko's sake. Die Investigation ist, glaube ich, richtig kurz. Ihr glaubt nicht, wie kurz sie ist. Die ist wirklich kurz. Also wenn ich sage, die ist kurz, dann meine ich das auch. Ja, ich wollte nicht raus. Smoke grenades and flashbang are walling on the floor. Wir müssen hier mitreden. The smell. This is the source of the smoke. It was a military smoke screen. It was often used for strategic purposes in modern warfare. And it was on the ground. It's still spreading a little bit of smoke from it. As close to the smoke bomb, there was a flash grenade. It had been used and became an empty steel barrel. Flashbang and smoke screen. These were also... Buya and I opened the door at first. The arsenal this morning. In an instant, a tremendous light and sound came upon me. At the same time, the smoke screen spread like a mist. Sorry. Looking at it this far, no matter what I think, these grenades can be affirmed as the cause of the situation. The question is who? Who would do this? And what happened while we were confused? Is it also the culprit? In the most realistic case, when we opened the arsenal, the killer was inside the arsenal. Even if it was estimated from the time of death of Haruhiko, the timing was right. It did not look soundproof arsenal. No matter how loud it was, it would have been impossible to be noticed. There's only one entrance to the arsenal. In order to escape, there would have no way but to meet us outside. Was the smoke screen and flashbang used to avoid that encounter? However, when I recall the situation in the morning, it would be difficult to say that a person would artificially come out at the same time we opened the door. Oh no, wait! This is... A thick wooden plank was stuck in the inner handle of the arsenal door, and now it was in a state of being doubled towards the opening of the door. Something that I heard right before opening the door of the Buya this morning. It looked like this was this wooden board. The overall development that can be inferred so far is the thick plank was collapsed in the door of the arsenal, and the flash and smoke grenades were both placed on the plank. If that happens when you forcefully open the door from the outside, the board gets crushed and the placed grenades fall to the floor. That shock triggered the grenades. Something feels weird. In the end, if it was meant to be used by the killer to get out of the arsenal through an enormous light and sound, was it necessary to use this cumbersome method? I can't even guess what the killer's goal was. Okay, Oh, Maeda-kun! Tyra, what are you doing without investigating? I am sorry. The body is so terrible. I understand it's hard, but we can't help it. We'll have to do it. We have to do our own investigation as far as we can. I know. It's been about a week since Yuahara-kun's case. I'll do my best. Mikao, I want to ask you something. It's noisy. Since when did you get along with me talking so freely? Get lost. Even so, I thought we would cooperate a little by passing the same point of death. It seems to have gotten worse. In this case, it might be better to cooperate with Kindler as much as possible with this limited time. Ja, was haben wir denn hier alles? Und hier unten als letztes alles machen. Oh ja, you okay? The complexion looks bad. No big deal, don't mind me! Okay. Noch random Waffen? Einfach irgendwo rumliegen? Hier abgegangen. Ich habe die ganze Zeit nach was gesucht, was man investigieren kann. What is this? At first there was no distinction from the thin blood on the floor, but when I looked closely I felt something. It was like the remnants of something other than blood was stuck on the floor. A gun? Is it really? It was so disastrously destroyed that there was almost no form left. I almost thought of a gun form of parts. It was lost because of the destruction, but a large amount of blood with each piece of it. Because of the lighting on the floor, it was difficult to see it clearly. How can it be destroyed this way though? It's like seeing a bloody octopus. But it doesn't make sense. When observing the remains of the destroyed gun, I suddenly found something noticeable. This gun. It's loaded with bullets. In my mind I checked around the other guns, but all of the magazines were empty. For this to be the only one destroyed, a small number of bullets were loaded. The arsenal is basically unloaded, and the bullets who were loaded separately are stuck on the magazine. Because of these conditions, the fact that the only one loaded with bullets is this gun means there's a possibility that this is the murder weapon. This sounds like a pretty important clue. Let's be careful to remember this. There's blood splattered in this area too. I was trying to check the condition of the guns in display. There was blood on the display, but when I looked up close I witnessed an even more grotesque sight. Fingers? It was human fingers, no matter how you look at it. And of course the owner of these fingers was Haru. I know how Riko's body had a ruptured hand in addition to the gunshot wound in the chest. Wir hätten den Monokuma-Fall, glaube ich, mal zuerst lesen sollen. Ich glaube, das wäre eine gute Idee gewesen. Among them, his index finger and middle finger fell off from it. His fingers lie here as proof. Where are his fingers here? At first glance, was far away from Haruhiko's body. In the shape of the blood, it seems like he began to walk after his fingers got cut. No, it's the opposite. It is likely that this was whether his body moved. Just by taking a glance on the floor. I have to consider the possibility that the killer moved the body for some reason. Okay, Huh? Suddenly, while investigating the corner of the wall, I saw something out of place. This gun, why is it so far away in a corner of the room? I picked it up the floor and checked it. I felt a heavy, peculiar feeling of how real it was, but I couldn't find anything particularly strange. It's just a gun, it doesn't change much like the other guns that are on display. Was it just a little far away? Maeda! What are you doing? Huh? What is it, Tsuruya? You should take your hands off that gun right now! Wait, this must be some misunderstanding. I was just trying to investigate over here. That gun will blow up! Eh? Blow up? What are you talking about? What are you doing? Now you've decided to kill! It's a shame for me to tell you this, but it would be a big deal if I were in your shoes right now. So never touch that gun! That's not it. I was just trying to investigate this. This is a misunderstanding. Why would I try to kill you? Eh? You weren't trying to shoot me? Ja, obwohl du es verdient hättest, du Dummkopf. That's right. What did you mean by this blowing up? Forget it, it's nothing. What? Well, his sudden behavior is strange, but according to his words, it could be dangerous, so I put the pistol in its original position and decided to leave it alone. However, Twitter strange remarks feel like something is odd. I take note of it. Gut, Monokuma, du hast nichts zu sagen. Hast du nicht den Monokuma-Fall? Oh, Maida-kun, welcome back! Monokuma, why are you here? Please, why are you treating me so harshly? I served your meal as promised, didn't I? Did you eat your food? I don't have time for your nonsense, loads of you. Disappear! Why are you so angry, I wonder? Anyways, I've forgotten something, so I came to deliver it to you. It's the Monokuma File 4! Oh, right. Weak reaction! Maida-kun, you baka! Mulberry! Monokuma File 4 is already the fourth file. Well, stop thinking like that. The only option is to think about the case. Naja, ist eigentlich der fünfte File, weil beim letzten Mal ja 2 gab. This is the Monokuma file left behind by Monokuma. Doesn't seem like much help, but I'll have to read it first. The victim is Haruhiko Kobashikawa. The estimated time of death is about 6 AM. The body was found in the arsenal. Der ist gerade erst gestorben, oder? Warte mal, wir hatten heute die Morning Announcement, das heißt, es war so um 7 Uhr. Das heißt, wir haben den erst kurz nach seinem Tod gefunden. The cause of death was excessive bleeding due to a gunshot wound to the right chest. In addition, the index finger and middle finger of his right hand were ruptured and broken. Gunshot wound. From the first time I saw the arsenal at the ballroom, I guess it greatly. From this fact, the intake seems to be a gun. The time of death is about 6 AM. The time was lost when I spent it in the ballroom. When I went to the dormitory to change my clothes a little earlier, I checked the current time was about 9 AM. It means Haruhiko's death was less than 3 hours. I got up after listening to the announcement at 7 AM this morning. So the incident really happened quite early this time. This time the time of death is properly written, and I guess the cause of death too. There was a trap in the Monokuma file for the previous case. There was a confusion of the time because it didn't write down whether it was AM or PM. Unfortunately, there seems no doubt about this Monokuma file. But that's it. This Monokuma file is just that. No special clues can be found in it. No, at least we can know the estimated time of death. Let's take a note of it. This is a pistol. It's located in the immediate vicinity of Haruhiko. And this pistol could be the weapon that killed Haruhiko. Hast du das nicht schon bei der Pistole da oben gesagt, die explodiert ist? So I thought, but soon I realized I was wrong. The guns are all scattered on the floor. That wasn't the only gun that fell to the floor. Perhaps it was the criminal's actions. Most of the guns fell to the floor and were mixed randomly. From this point on, I don't know which gun was the one that directly killed Haruhiko. It would be difficult to conclude this. It would be difficult to conclude that this is the gun used for the killing, just because it was the closest one. It seems that the guns were all scattered in order to prevent the real one to be found. I should check things out. Ich muss ja ganz kurz schauen, ob was ich für Nachrichten habe, Alter. Meine ganzen Freunde spammen mich voll. Ja, richtig viele Nachrichten. So, ich habe mal eben meinen ganzen Freunden geantwortet. Scattered Guns, ja. Gut, Kindlo, was geht ab mit dir? Kindlo. Maeda. In the end, I can't hide the awkward mood. Kindlo told me to focus only on the investigation, but I was still worried about it. Vor allem vorher hatte er voll die gemachten Haare und alles und jetzt hat er wieder seine alten Klamotten, jetzt sind seine Haare wieder so komisch wie vorher. Yes, do you have anything to ask about the case? Well, I meant Haruhiko's body. He wasn't killed instantly, right? Indeed. In fact, there's a hole in the chest, and even in the Monokuma file is said to be an excessive bleeding due to a gunshot wound. A gun. Until now, thanks to the layout of the school, there are murders of items that would be common in everyday life. Ich habe schon am Anfang so gedacht, eigentlich so das beste Mittel, oder so das logischste Mittel, um jemanden zu töten, ist so eigentlich erschießen. Bam, bam, bam. Aber, das ist eigentlich nie passiert, also auch in den Main Games. Ich glaube, das ist der einzige Tod, zumindest von den Spielen, die ich gespielt habe, der mit einer Waffe war, oder? Warte mal, ich habe die ganzen Tode in dem Nachfolger von dem kleinen Game hier schon voll vergessen. Warte mal. Keiner, ja. I think there would be a person who was shot to death. It's fine. You guys might not be familiar, but I have my fair share of gunshots. If there's something you don't know, it's fine to ask. Is it because the incident happened? Even though there was a conflict less than 24 hours ago, Kindle wasn't much different from the way he usually treats me. Well, maybe it's the gun and the chest wound. Would it be better to see this as an immediate death? No, I don't think Haruhiko was close to immediate death. Yeah, why is that? Even if it was on the chest, it's not the heart, it's the right chest. The bullet passed through the body. If it wasn't stuck, it would have been possible to move for a short amount of time, rather than die immediately. It wasn't stuck? That means it penetrated the body? Wouldn't it be more dangerous then? There are surprisingly many people who think that way, but in reality it's better for a bullet to pass through the body than being stuck in it. There are 3 types of layer damage to a body. One is bleeding, another is burning, the last one is the impact of a bullet's kinetic energy. If you look at one by one, it is difficult to inflict great damage due to the small surface area. In case of burns, and it is rare that from excessive bleeding, you die immediately. Ich habe den Satz nicht verstanden, aber ich verstehe seinen Punkt. But the story of a shock caused by the kinetic energy is different. Maeda, if you get hit with a fist or a bat, it will be difficult to move due to the impact, right? That's, well, if you're an ordinary person who doesn't have any special training, it would be even worse. Similarly, when a bullet gets stuck inside the body, all the kinetic energy turns into shock energy, creating an instantaneous large space in the body. The fact that the space has been created means that the body has been greatly shocked. This shock will cause negligible damage and damage to the surrounding organs as well. Really? I'm not sure what you mean exactly, but anyways, that means perfect penetration is a better alternative than getting stuck, right? That's what it means. In fact, in some foreign countries, there are bullets that split in the front part of the bullet and cause fragments that get stuck into the body. Yo! That's terrible. The bullet did this. It was a fatal injury to... If the bullet did this, it was a fatal injury to be hit by this bullet. Whether it was stuck, it was pierced in the body. Especially in the case of Haruhiko, as you said, the chest was hit. Even if it was pierced, there's a high possibility that the hole in his lungs was pierced through. As I said before, it's only less shocking, and he must have died shortly after having difficulty breathing and bleeding. Oh, ich muss mal nochmal kurz was trinken. Guns should only be cheap for the wicked, unless it's an extreme game. It's an extreme situation. There doesn't really seem like a need to be talked about. Anyways, I'll move to another place since the arsenal has been roughly investigated. Make sure to investigate carefully. If you find something, let me know, Maeda. Kindlo, there was an incident yesterday and he seemed a lot unstable recently. It seems everything is okay because of the current one. Was it only me that had a hard time to deal with it? Seriously, Kindlo is a completely different person from the first time we met. The time he was hostile to us and the time of the investigation. For now, let's check what Kindlo told me. Wer schreibt mir? Ich will wissen, wer mir schreibt, sorry. Ja, no shit. 3 Nachrichten wieder, warte mal. I didn't really understand it at all. But in summary, it's better to be pierced from the bullet than having it stuck. And Haruhiko's case was the latter. Was it like this? Yes. So, der Körper, den können wir auch noch checken, ne? I couldn't see it properly because of the smoke, but when I suddenly stopped to look, I could find that there was an unnatural blood stain on the floor. Blood traces danced throughout the arsenal, as if Haruhiko wandered around the arsenal after being shot. What is this unnatural blood stain? It's only obvious that it's Haru's blood, but rather than trying to run away after being shot just by looking at the blood spots, it seems as if he was trying to move in the arsenal all over the place. Simply put, it was so bizarre. Is it reasonable to assume that this degree of descriptive blood was made by the killer dragging Haruhiko unconscious? Well, for now I can only think of it as a possibility, but there must be some reason for the blood to be left in like this way. Kein Körper nicht investigaten, geil. Muss von hier kommen! Wie scheiße! It's Haruhiko's body. It's no different from our friends who have died so far. It's called empty eyes. We are alive today because you are dead. Don't you think this is absurd? There was no way that Haruhiko, who had passed away in such a devastating manner, would answer me. But the class trial still remains. If we can't find the culprit who killed you, we will all die. By all means, I'll find the one who killed you, Haruhiko. I won't make your death in vain. After expressing a minimal condolences to Haruhiko as if making a prayer, I began to investigate his body. First, the fatal wound that can be considered as the direct cause of death must be a gunshot wound to the chest. In the case of friends who have died so far, they used a hammer, a knife, or plaster weapon that makes the murder bloody. In the case of Haruhiko, it was because Monokuma prepared an arsenal, he was shot, because the treasure provided an inspiration to kill him. Was? Wo kommt das denn jetzt her? Wie kommst du darauf? Wo kommt das her? Das ist nicht mal der Fall! Also das sage ich jetzt schon mal, das ist nicht mal der Fall! However, I don't really know how to deal with this, as ordinary students like me don't have the slightest idea of how one feels being shot. No matter what was a gun, even if it was a gun, what kind of gun was it? In addition to the gunshot wound in the chest, there's something suspicious. Haruhiko's right hand. Blech. His right hand was devastatingly destroyed, so much that I couldn't see it with my eyes open. It was literally destroyed. The index and middle fingers were completely amputated, the remaining fingers were torn to pieces in the skin. Yo! Was? Alter! I'm sure Haruhiko got his wound from being shot to the chest. What in the world happened to the wound on his right hand? Boah, ich muss mal ganz kurz am Ohr kratzen, Junge. No matter how much I think about it, I don't think my hand would look like this if I was shot by a bullet. Better than a gun, it's like you got caught in a dynamite-like explosion. I think it's a little scared when I look at it closely. I wonder what kind of gun was it that shot Haruhiko. And it is urgent we find out the identity of the object that caused the wound on the wound on the right hand. There were no more noticeable clues and I couldn't see any more of my friend's terrible body. So I decided to stop and get up. Alright, das war alles hier. Das müsste alles hier gewesen sein. Ich gehe nochmal auf Nummer sicher. Ja, alles. Kurokawa, you are here. What about the Arsenal investigation? I did it. Roughly. You aren't supposed to do it roughly. Maeda, I want you to listen to me. Hä? Meine Augen sind so schlecht geworden, ne? Das ist unfassbar. There's a problem with the alibis. During dawn, I kept monitoring the hallway. Did you work, Kurokawa? Are you okay? I didn't really know, but you could have died because of hunger. It's okay. I'm used to it. You're used to it. Anyway, about the alibis. My room is right next to the arsenal. Unfortunately, because of the soundproof, I couldn't hear anything inside the arsenal. Only the sound of the arsenal door opening and closing could be heard. That means you saw it? You saw it went into the arsenal? I heard the sounds. I couldn't see them from this room, but I could see the moment when they were passing by the door of my room. Isn't it right next to the arsenal anyway? Hat sie das nicht genau gerade gesagt? If I had passed in front of your room, headed to the arsenal. No. This is the hallway on the left side in front of the arsenal. Due to the structure of the ballroom, if you turn to the other side and enter the arsenal, you can move without seeing the eyes of Kurokawa. Seeing the eyes of Kurokawa, oh yeah, the evil eye, würde Ganem Tanaka jetzt sagen. That's right. But at least I've seen a few people that entered the arsenal. Really, who were they? One is Haruhiko. And the other? The rest, I'll tell you in the trial. Suddenly I thought about investigating. Suddenly fühlt sie sich so, als könnte sie investigaten. Was ist mit der los? Still a weird girl as usual. But thanks to Kurokawa, this case could be solved fairly easy. Apart from that, I'm worried about Kurokawa's health. She usually looks weak and nervous, but this time she couldn't even sleep or eat at all. I hope she's okay. Wer schreibt mir jetzt schon wieder alles, Alter? Junge, hört auf mir alles zu schreiben. Moment. Ich finde dieses Spiel, by the way, manchmal richtig inconsistent. Ich finde das richtig inconsistent. Junge, mit den Namen. Im Chapter 2 hatten wir doch auch mal eine Kurokawa-Testimony. Und da stand dann Kurokawas Testimony. Jetzt steht da Mikakos Testimony. Ich wusste nicht, dass ich sie mit Vornamen anspreche. Die ist ganz schnell. Oh mein Gott, sie hat wieder ihre Clownsnase. Ja. Satsuki, why are you standing still doing what? Yuki, what am I supposed to do? Is it because it's Haru? It seems too horrible, but now we have no choice but to investigate, even if it sounds cheap. In order to survive. To survive, is it? Satsuki? No, yeah, the investigation, I have to, yeah. She was so quiet that it wasn't like Satsuki at all. And the girl that went rampant like always. It seems that Haruhiko's death hurt more on her than any of us. Ich muss mal ein bisschen hinmachen, Alter, wir haben schon fast 18 Uhr, merke ich grad. Hilsa, what are you doing in front of the door? Maeda, you're here. There was something I was going to check right now, but if it's okay, why don't we check it together out? What are we looking for? We're looking at it. It's opened. Wasn't this room? Indeed, it was from Haruhiko Kawashikawa's corpse. I borrowed the key from it for a while. Because this is an incident in a closed space with limited movement, it's better to search everywhere as possible. I decided to follow Kinjo and investigate Haru's room. It's room that's no different from my room, shockingly enough. Maeda, look at this. There's something of interest here. Eh? Some kind of paper? To Haruhiko, I have something to say. If you read this, why don't you come to the arsenal? I'm not going to kill you. I hope you believe me. I'll be waiting. This is... Huh. The letter was written by the killer. The same method as when Maki was killed. Besides, this letter wasn't torn like last time. It proved that the culprit couldn't even mess with. However, it seems a little more than what it takes. What it takes? I'll ask you, Maeda, after reading this, would you go to the arsenal? Huh? I mean... By the time this letter was sent, they would kill me. Just after we hit each other and fought. In that situation, if I received a letter like this from you... It was also the way Mitsuhiro Higa used putting a letter down the door. Down the door? How can you even know that? Can't you tell by a glance? There's no reason to meet face to face and give a letter. And there's no other way to send a letter in a locked room like this. It's definitely the first time anyone thinks of pulling themselves out for murder. But why did Haruhiko go directly to the arsenal? Well... But couldn't it have been that they didn't know because it was impossible? To think normally? I mean, just before we went crazy. No, we were already crazy. If you look at the source of that madness, it's due to being starved and dying because we couldn't eat food, and the fear that someone might kill you. In other words, it's because of the self-defense fear of death. I don't want to die. You'd rather judge things related to death more rationally than usual in extreme situations. Still, the question remains, why did Haruhiko go through death's door by all means? Is it because he believed it? What? Haruhiko probably believed. He believed that there was no one in our group that could commit a murder. He believed until the very end. We were all on the verge of releasing the strings of reason, but it was different for Haruhiko. He was the same, he wasn't sane, but he still opposed the idea of murder to the end. Kinjo, you did that too, right? He didn't want to ask you, but we've all gotten weird. He pled to you to do something. Because Haruhiko was like that, even if he was insane, he would have trusted a friend and go straight to the arsenal. Such stupidity. That's not worth of the word trust. It's like jumping into death without being able to judge the situation. What's with that face? Are you hoping to get closer to me? Did you want me to be impressed by saying this was your way of showing your trust to others? Well, look at the result. He died because of that stupidity. That's the reason I'm far away from people like this. Kinjo. Enough. We're investigating now. We can't get excited over personal feelings. Well, whether Haruhiko acted that way because of a mischief is withheld. But this led us an important clue in the end. Just finding this gives a great achievement. There seems to be nothing else special in the room other than this. I'll leave and check other places then. Let's see each other at the class trial. He thought he was okay, but Kinjo is after all having a doubt on his own mind. If this class trial ends safely and we all survive, we'll have to seriously talk about Kinjo's state. Ich war schon verwirrt, dass die Musik wieder losgeht, weil ich dachte, das wär's jetzt auch gewesen. Hello, can anyone hear me? It's already time! Anyways, it happened only inside the ballroom, so there's not much to investigate, right? Now then, everyone, please get out in front of the entrance to the courtroom. So it's already the end of the investigation. No matter how much I do this, it's too short. Damn, I don't think I've recovered my sensitivity yet on my body. But it can't be helped. I did my best to investigate as much as I could. All that remains is what we have investigated so far. And we have no choice but to guess the killer with everyone else. Oh Mann, ey, wir sind echt wenige. Ich weiß, das habe ich beim letzten Mal schon gesagt, aber boah, Junge. Yes. Ah, ich habe, glaube ich, irgendwas nicht gelesen gerade, sorry. Keiner hat wirklich Lust zu reden. Oh, Maida ist hier. Then let's start the trial. Okay, only the tension is flowing. The mood terribly awkward. While in the ballroom, the world of a lawless land was so colorless and hard. Above all, the number of people was too small. 7 people, including me. Besides, one of us is the culprit who killed Haruhiko. Even if this trial is safely handed over, the criminal will be executed and only 6 people will remain. 6? It was a number that didn't feel real. When was our head count being reduced to this extent? Looks like everyone has gathered. Well, it's easier to manage people since the numbers have been reduced, but isn't everyone's tension too low? Events that are washed out, like class trials, are more lively, you know? It's no fun because there's no reaction at all. Jeez. Now then, it's already the 4th time, right? This is the start of a fun class trial, so get on the elevator. Ich muss mal eben meinen Kopfhörer-Case laden, kein Bock, dass die gleich leer gehen. Whatever the case, I have to go beyond this class trial. The later issues are for later. Everyone has their faces as if they were determined to do something, even in an awkward mood. Different thoughts intersect each other, and we run into a hell called the class trial once again. Wir reden noch mit allen. Let's move. Ja, aber klar, dass du nicht viel zu sagen hast. Kubassing. We finally escaped from the ballroom due to the death of Koshikawa-kun. We escaped the risk of being hungry to death. I'm not happy at all. We could only survive by someone's sacrifice. It's the same for the class trials. The expense of the criminals, the system where everyone lives. I'm so sad I have to do this again. This case, no, you don't have to think so complicated. Du bist suspicious, muss ich sagen. What do you want? Don't worry about me. I'm not crying. Shibuya is sehr suspicious. Ching-chang-chong. At first, I thought that this elevator was so narrow that it felt full. Now it's so wide. I looked at the 6 other than me. In heavy silence, one by one. Kindler is now in complete trial mode. In this state, Kindler does a 180 degree. He only uses his head to break through the events before his eyes. But is it because of our mood, as it looks like there's an anxious expression somewhere? Iwanami, who has not lost her bright appearance at any time, she was still unable to escape from her shock of losing Haru. She wasn't the same. She wasn't the same Satsuki anymore. Her shaggy appearance made even more the beholder's heart ache. Kokao was always the same. She just stayed consistent with silence, and I couldn't even tell what she was thinking. Taiwa looked very tired. She doesn't want to... Sorry. She doesn't want to lose any more friends, and she doesn't want to go through class trials anymore. That kind of heart seemed to linger on her face. Fuya was restless. After the incident, you may feel that Fuya's behavior was strange, but if you think about it, Fuya was like this at every class trial, so it's not unusual. Mikaru wasn't saying that she'd watch the shovel as usual, but she was thinking of something unfamiliar to Mikaru, like something unexpected even for her. Is there anything that will get us stuck in this case? Different thoughts and different beliefs cross between each other. Ich muss da kurz was trinken. At the point where there are only 7 people left, we are thinking differently, but we have to overcome this. A hell like 4th class trial. Vamos! The elevator stops, as if we had made an appointment. We step at the same time without a special signal. Towards a very familiar courtroom. Das Class Trial ist echt kurz, muss ich sagen. Aber zumindest habe ich es kurz in Erinnerung. You are here! I was waiting! How are you guys? It's been a long time, hasn't it? You met with us right after the murder happened a while ago, though. I mean, me as the judge. Well, it's been more than a week since the last trial. Instead of that, this presiding clutch is more stylish than usual. Don't be useless and start the damn thing already. Shocked. Well, I'm always neglected, but this time it's getting more thorns. Don't you think so, Maeda-kun? I don't care. Start as Macau said already. Even Maeda-kun is rude to me. This could be a sign to represent your heartache. Then I'll start as you want. Now, shall we start right away? To uncover the truth of the prolonged stay in the ballroom incident for more than a week, we have the all-exciting, heart-pounding class trial! The only thing that's the same as usual is Monokuma. Every one of us was in a serious mood, unlike usual. The tense in this trial. The feeling of losing a dear friend to us. The reasons were different, but in the end, we came here for the class trial. Sorry. Now all that remains is to find the culprit by confronting all the clues, testimonies, and test our wits that we have. Haruhiko. Our relationship with him was finally bonding us together in the middle. He was like a little in a drugstore. If Satsuki always showed his bright side, and at the same time his love for his friend was twice as deep as anyone else's. As a result, thanks to his death, we were able to eat and survive, but Haruhiko couldn't eat anymore. It was an unavoidable choice to live, but as a result, there's a culprit that killed Haruhiko. If we don't find them, we will all die in the end. The atmosphere of the court is filled with silence. The trial finally begins. A life-threatening discussion, a life-threatening lie, a life-threatening betrayal, a life-threatening conclusion, a life-threatening defense, a life-threatening trust, a life-threatening class trial. Ja, los, habe ich mehr Herzen jetzt? L4, H4? Na, irgendwie nicht. Ja, Mann, ey. Ich hätte den Skill wirklich gebraucht. Wie viele Truthbullets haben wir? 1, 2... 14, wie immer. Aber das Trial ist kurz, hatte ich in Erinnerung. Es kommt halt sehr viel Post-Trial-Gelaber, aber es war eigentlich viel Zeit. Also muss auch zackig gehen. Jetzt kann jetzt keine 4 Stunden gehen. Es kann auch keine 3 Stunden gehen. Also von jetzt an. First, let's start with a brief explanation of the class trial. The outcome of the class trial is decided by your votes. If you point out the black, only they will be punished. But in case you point out the wrong person, then I'll punish everyone except the blackens. And the one who deceived everyone else can proudly leave the school. Also, this illustration is made by Zephyr, and you have written this already 2 times, so it doesn't matter anymore. It finally started. 4th class trial. One of us is the culprit that killed Haruhiko. We must find that culprit at all costs. Now then, please begin your discussion. Ich dachte, jetzt kommt direkt eine Non-Stop-Debate, weil es so gelaggt hat. Guys? Ah, right, here! Should we start discussing? Okay, we have to work hard, so what do we start with? Irgendein Hurensohn hat einfach gerade bei uns geklingelt. What the stuff, you have awkward mood. Well, it's not unreasonable, because the conflict reached its peak. Peak conflict! First, I think each of you will have a lot of things to say before the trial, and the feelings that you're feeling will be different. But now let's focus on the trial in front of you, aside from everything else. Just like we did before so far, haven't we? Kindlo. As Kindlo said, now is the trial. Let's follow what we want to say each other for a moment, because survival is our priority now. You don't take that for granted, do you? Let's get started already. Then let's begin. Once we get the case sorted out, let's organize a series of events in chronological order, based on what each of us knows. Hey, wait a minute. Before that, I have something to say. Just for a minute, please. What is it, Iwanami? I'm the killer. Eh? Satsuki-san? What did you say just now? I said, I'm the killer. I'm the culprit who killed Haruhiko Kawashikawa. Don't play around, Iwanami. What are you saying all of a sudden? It's not a joke. Are you serious? Don't make me laugh. You think that if you claim to be the criminal without physical evidence for logic, you'll become the culprit? But I really did kill Haruhiko. It can't be! Stop making bad jokes, Satsuki-san! You should explain one step at a time. If we listen and we're convinced, then we can really believe that you're the culprit. Tell me, what is all this? This is the trial begins. She said she was the culprit. It was a normal culprit. She would never confess. Ich muss nochmal was trinken, sorry. Ja, dieser scheiß Konflikt mit Speichel, den ich immer hab, Alter. Oh, ich hab aus Versehen die Aufnahmen pausiert, weil... Oh Gott, ey. Aus Reflex. Oh Gott, ey. Zum Glück ist mir das mal aufgefallen direkt. But would Satsuki really be the culprit? Before making any judgment, let's first listen to her story. Ja, nö, ich weiß, wie das geht. Was brauchen wir? Das ist die Frage. Letter in the womb. Why are you claiming to be the culprit? Let's hear your reason. At dawn, Kobasin called me. I followed Kobasin. We went to the arsenal. And then, all by myself, he pointed a gun at me. I just shot him in self-defense. It can't be. Kobasin called me kann nicht sein, weil der Brief geschrieben wurde. Haruhiko wurde ins Arsenal gecallt. Stimmt, wir kriegen jetzt auch immer Mono-Coins, wenn wir was richtig machen, durch den Skill, den wir von ihr haben. Von Satsuki. Klingt nach schon. Wait, Satsuki, Haruhiko called you? Isn't that odd? Is it weird? The victim Haruhiko called you? The culprit? That can't be it. Whether the victim Haruhiko was called by the culprit and went to the arsenal. If you were the culprit, you would know. You are saying he was called by the killer? I don't know. That's ridiculous. The letter that was put in Haruhiko's room is what he's talking about. The contents are like this. To Haruhiko, I have something to tell you. If you read this, why don't you come to the arsenal? I'm not trying to kill you. I hope you believe me. I'll wait. If the contents of that letter are true, it makes no sense that Kawashikawa can call Satsuki shot and took her to the arsenal, right? It would be the opposite. That's right, but Satsuki said she doesn't know much about this letter. The killer doesn't know the letter they sent. Nope, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. What if it was manipulation? Yuki and Tsurugi wrote that letter that I didn't know and you're manipulating things now. Don't be a chickhead. Obviously this evidence came from Haruhiko's room. So Hiranami is not the culprit? Wrong, I really mean it. I'm the real culprit. Just looking at the current evidence, you say that Satsuki is the culprit. It's hard to tell, but I want to make things a little more clear. Let's ask it. Ask about it, Haruhiko's other wound, whose source is unknown to the evidence, is only the culprit. Only they must know. Satsuki, if you're really the culprit, there's one thing I want you to tell me. This isn't like the letter, but a direct clue to Haruhiko's body. So if you're the culprit, it's a clue that you must know. What's that? Haruhiko's right hand, you recall? His right hand was completely shattered. It's hard to say that this was a gunshot wound. If you're the culprit, can you tell me the true nature of this wound? I don't know. Why did his hand become this way? You don't have to talk anymore. You're not the culprit. Wait a second, I'm telling the truth. Why are you still claiming to be the killer? If it's real, even if you're the culprit, you'll only get executed. I don't know what you're thinking, but this is not a joke. If you unnecessarily confuse our reasoning and we choose the wrong killer, we will all die. Maybe. That might have been the purpose. What? She was close to Haruhiko Kawashikawa, who died this time, right? Apparently, it looks like she was in a severe shock, unlike the usual one who always talks at random. With that shock in mind, you are trying to make us follow Haruhiko Kawashikawa's fate. Isn't that right? That was it? Absolutely not! Of course, I'm really sad that Haru died, but I'm very much sane. Stop it, Hiranami. We haven't even started a proper discussion yet. If the discussion goes on, the killer will be naturally revealed. If you are really the killer, you don't have to rush things. It'll all turn out okay. Satsuki-chan. Alright then, let's discuss it. Has it been roughly organized? You wasted my time on useless things. So let's start from the beginning again. When the case started to happen. Hold on a minute. Is it okay to wait 1 minute before that? In this case, can we assume that Iranami isn't completely the culprit? No, not necessarily. If Iranami is really the culprit, there's still a possibility there. That's it? We haven't started any reasoning yet. First, there's a possibility from what happened a little while ago, but maybe there's something up. In that way, they were excluding themselves from the suspect line. That has to be calculated. With Iranami's mind, it would be impossible to tell. Hey, you're treating me as a fool right now? I don't think it was on purpose. Quiet. First, as Kindle says, let's summarize the unfolding of this case. Yo, wie die abgeht auch. Quiet, so richtig ernst plötzlich. Oh, right. Where can we start from the evening before the incident happened? Oh, that was from me, Maeda-kun, Kawashikawa-kun, Otori-kun, and Satsuki-chan, Mikako-chan, and me. 6 people gathered at the restaurant. Maeda-kun called us and... At the time, we were at the limit of our hunger, and we all thought to come together and meet each other in the thought that we should somehow unfold a hard policy. At that time, Teruya suggested... Oh, I tell you, I wasn't really sane back then. That's what happened. Was my fault for being a major. What's this? I didn't see your faces the day before the murder took place. I don't know this, so explain exactly what's going on. Teruya gave us a pen and paper to nominate 1 victim and 1 culprit. He asked for 1 person to vote. Since Monokuma banned suicide, it was a plan to set up the case at the expense of 2 people. That was really crazy. I'm so sorry. Ich muss niesen. Oh god. It's alright, it's all over now. We almost agreed to this plan too. It looks like the part I saw from there. I walked into the restaurant because the absurd plan was about to be implemented. Yeah, Kindle-kun came in and handed out guns to each of us to commit suicide. What? Oh, no, nothing at all. Keep going. Well, that's when we started to fight back at Kindle. And then we were lucky enough to catch him. It was judged to be dangerous, so he couldn't move anymore. That was sour. Oh my, sorry. I am so uneducated today. Continue. So? The problem starts after this. Thanks to Kindle, the plan was halted, but there was no progress for the day. We locked Kindle in the room and then went back to each room. Between this morning, Haruhiko died. Oh, I couldn't sleep all night, so I was staying with my eyes open, but I heard something outside in the morning, so I went out and Maeda was asking for help, saying that the door was not opening. And when you somehow opened the door, you found the body? Yeah, that's right. Oh Gott, ey, oh Gott, dieser Stuhl, der bringt mich Alter, mein Rücken, Hilfe. This case is missing our eyes between the dawn hours and there's not much evidence. We have no choice but to share information we know with each other. First, a few alibis can be established just by hearing about this. Alibis? Yes, so then, let's dig into the alibis one by one, alright? Okay, mach mal. Oha, voll der Remix, yeah! Obwohl, ist es nicht einfach nur das V3-Theme? Okay, wir brauchen wahrscheinlich Kurokawas Testimony, nehme ich an. First off, it won't be a problem that I excluded myself from the suspect list since I was tied up, right? Kurokawas Testimony brauchen wir wirklich. Oh, certainly! An idea where Kindle commits a crime doesn't seem possible. I have an alibi too, meine and me. We were together when the BDA happened. If so, the ones who can be suspected as a criminal are... Makaru, Taiwa, Iwanami and Kurokawa. It's those 4 people. I really don't have an alibi, but it's not me! Tatsuki is the killer! You shut up already. Stop causing trouble. If only there was more information that would check the alibis at dawn. But if someone wandered around at dawn, the killer wouldn't have been able to move. Okay, wir wissen ja, worauf wir schießen müssen, auf das das Kind so gerade gesagt hat. Ist richtig geil, dass ich Markis Skill habe, weil mit Markis Skill kann ich halt ohne Probleme auf diesen Pfeil drücken, weil das bewegt sich ja immer so ein bisschen, das Fadenkreuz, und mit dem Skill bewegt es sich halt nicht mehr. Kindlo, wait, come to think of it, I think there was someone who knows the alibis during dawn in detail. Who is it? During the investigation, Kurokawa, she clearly testified to me that she had seen who went into the arsenal this morning. Right, Kurokawa? Yes. What? If that's true, the culprit has already been revealed, right? You're noisy. Be quiet. Hey, Dark Circles. So, who did you see? Kurokawa's room was right next to the arsenal, so she heard the arsenal's door opening and closing. Of course, the arsenal is soundproof, so she didn't hear the sounds from the inside. I don't think hearing only the sound is enough to be a direct witness testimony. No, I saw people passing by in front of my door. What? No way, you've been watching the hallway all morning. Is that what you mean? But then, still it would have been difficult to stay sane in hunger. Watching the hallway all night without sleep is... However, that worked nicely in reverse. The culprit couldn't have thought that there must have been someone in the midst watching the corridor. That's a great achievement, Kurokawa. Ich muss da eben was trinken. Aus der Flasche, die seit Tagen auf meinem Boden liegt. So then, who passed by? Well, I don't know the time. The exact time is unknown, but it was in this order. First was Haruhiko and Satsuki, from left to right. Oh Gott, ich hab Schleim auf meiner Hand. The arsenal didn't open at this time. A little later, Satsuki went from right to left. She was alone at this time. A little later, after Iwanami passed, Teruya went from left to right. A little later again, I heard the sound of the arsenal door. Then Teruya went from right to left. And after a while, Haruhiko goes from right to left. Soon after, Haruhiko and Satsuki were together again. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, but wait a minute. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what's left to right or right to left. Can't you tell us a little more clearly? You're the only one who doesn't understand something so simple, aren't you? Don't cut the flow for no reason. Focus and listen! Don't be like that. I'm a little confused too. But let's listen to Kurokawa's story until the end and reorganize it. In an easy to understand manner. Kurokawa said everything? Nods. Jetzt kommt doch gleich diese Peak-Zeichnung. Indeed. As you said, you can assume that the killer has already revealed themselves. At the time of the investigation, I didn't know this because Kurokawa didn't tell me properly, but this is definitely a tremendous amount of information. Hey, I wanna join the discussion too, but can't you tell us a little bit more easily? Oh, sorry, Tyra. I'll organize it so it's easy to understand. But before that, there's something I want to check again. The location of the room each of us was using. You know this. I think we can properly organize Kurokawa's information. Well, that's certainly something I want to do and need to move on. From what I roughly checked with each other during the investigation, everyone remembers the structure of the corridor behind the ballroom where the rooms are listed, right? As you would know, if you did a little closer examination, there was a small tag on the door of each room. Richtig, wir sind ja in Room 1 gewesen. And according to the tag, the rooms are distributed in this manner. Murakoa randomly gave us a key for each room. And from what I have investigated... Sorry. This is probably how each of us were located in each room. When we reconsidered Kurokawa's testimony after arranging the distribution of each room, used by each person in that way, we can see that a few suspects are eliminated. Well, I mean, I didn't understand Mikako's words at all. That's your own fault. Are you going to blow up valuable discussion time for someone like you? Kindler, that's too far. It's important for one person to know about the case, right? Wisst ihr, was scheiße ist, dass Haruhiko nicht mehr dabei ist, weil er könnte sie noch, weil er war der Einzige, der sie verteidigt hat. Er war der Einzige, der gegen Kindler immer was gesagt hatte. I'll rearrange it and explain it to Tyra. Do what you like, preferably as quickly as possible. Kindler, can you still don't seem to forgive me? Tyra, so to summarize Kurokawas words simply. Ja, jetzt kommt nämlich die geile Zeichnung, passt auf. First, the fact Kurokawa watched the hallway all morning. Tyra, you heard it earlier, right? And based on what Kindler summarized, Kurokawa's room is room 8. It's room on the right side of the arsenal. And you go straight from the entrance of the arsenal to the corridor. As Kurokawa explained a little while ago, what she said was from left to right and from right to left. Was based on the direction facing the corridor in Kurokawa's room. Here, I make it more easy to understand with pictures. In the corridor that Kurokawa saw it, Haruhiko and Satsuki were the first people that passed by in front of the door at this time. She said there was no sound of the arsenal door opening at this time, so I think it's just the two of them passing by. Sind wahrscheinlich zu ihm gegangen und haben gefickt, oh yeah! And a little later, she said that Satsuki passed by alone again in the opposite direction. Shortly after this, she said that Teruya passed by. Oh. And at this time, she could hear the sound of the arsenal door opening. Oh, Teruya! Suspicious, suspicious! This probably means that Teruya went to the arsenal. After a while, the sound of the arsenal door opening was heard again, and then Teruya passed to the opposite direction. Soon after, Haruhiko passed by the same direction again. After this, Haruhiko and Satsuki went from left to right again. And at this time, the door to the arsenal was open. Someone went into the arsenal. After that, there was no movement for a while, and after a little time passed, Satsuki passed by with the sound of the arsenal door opening. Also es würde eigentlich am meisten Sinn machen zu sagen, dass es Satsuki war, so wie sie gesagt hat. These are all the movements Kurokawa saw and heard during the morning. After this, well, she heard the workers of the arsenal door next, but it was probably the sounds of me trying to open the door. Teruya, who passed by, heard the sounds I made. Then I opened the door of Teruya's hut during this time. That's a summary of what Kurokawa heard and saw roughly like this. Do you understand? Wow, when Maeda could explain it to me, I understood it all at once. Thanks! Really? But wait, if we look from the current events on each step... Yeah, there's one suspicious person. Did you see it clearly? I can't guarantee 100% that what Kurokawa heard and saw was everything that happened at dawn, but with the information obtained till now has resulted in one influential suspect of this case. That person is... ich weiß nicht, was das Spiel von mir will. Ich glaube aber, dass es jetzt auf Teruya hinauslaufen soll. Teruya! It's the only one who fits to be the main suspect of this case. Huh? Me? Haruhiko was the victim, so he couldn't help it. The fact that Satsuki was close to Haruhiko makes me understand why she was there. But why did you move around like that so early in the morning? Oh, that was... what was it again? Right, I was investigating, yeah. Everyone was in a panic, so I wanted to find clues to get out even for a little bit. Just a few hours ago, you were trying to pick two victims. The guy who was despairing and doing investigation was thinking of all these things. Doesn't that sound a little weird? That's all there is to it. The way it fixed my mind. People can change their mind easily, you know? Even if it's true that you did an investigation, if you think about it based on Kurokawa's testimony, you were only in the arsenal. What kind of investigation did you do in the arsenal? No, I never went into the arsenal. Torikon, please stop the pretense and explain properly. What the hell did you do in the arsenal? I never went into the arsenal! Teruya? Why does it have to be only me? I did nothing wrong! If you look at it, Satsuki also went around at dawn. Why am only I suspicious? Yeah, I'm the culprit. Are you still saying that? I told you to be quiet. Certainly, Iwanami is well under enough suspicion. However, she said she didn't know the identity of the letter, nor did she know about Haru's hand. So that's it then, you're just gonna take her off the list just cause she didn't know? That's a long shot! I didn't know about anything, about the letter or the right hand either! Don't be mistaken, Teruya. You now said that Iwanami is the culprit and you don't know about these clues. Well, Iwanami claims to be the culprit, but she doesn't recognize these clues. That's entirely different matters. Then what about Maeda? When I saw him this morning, he was trying to get in the arsenal, so Maeda is also suspicious. That just happened. Yes, I won't deny that Maeda is a suspect as you claim. He had been in and out of the arsenal the previous day, and even this morning. He had the strange idea of going to the arsenal again. But this and that is a separate matter. As a result, Maeda failed to enter the arsenal this morning. There was no testimony of Kurokawa witnessing in the morning, so this is not suitable for committing the crime. Oh well, anyways I don't know about that! I'm not exactly trying to protect him, but relying on Dark Circle's testimony has a slightly loose time frame. I'm going to ignore it to not make me go nuts and move on already. I know that. It's about the structure of the ballroom, right? The structure? Ja, richtig. Da hätte ja auch jemand von der anderen Seite kommen können. Think about it. Even if Kurokawa watched the hallway all night, it's all about looking outside of the room and hearing the arsenal door. But if you look at the structure of the ballroom, you can easily enter the arsenal without passing by Kurokawa's door. Because we were all at the ballroom for a week, I think everyone should know, but the arsenal is structured around the dance hall all at 360 degrees. In other words, if you go back to the other side, you can enter the arsenal without being noticed by Kurokawa. Moreover, in the case of Maeda, Kurokawa does not stand out. Even if he does not use this method, he goes straight into the arsenal, from his own room, since it was the opposite side to Kurokawa's room in the first place. You knew that too. Ja, aber Kurokawa hat ja immer gehört, dass die Arsenal dort zu und offen wurde, geschlossen und geöffnet wurde, wenn jemand an ihrer Tür vorbeikam. Also kann man doch davon ausgehen, dass nur die drei da drin waren. Haru, Satsuki und Teruya. You knew that too. See? Maeda is the culprit after all. But there's something you shouldn't overlook. Even if you use some method to enter the arsenal without showing your appearance to Kurokawa, there's still the sound of the door opening and closing that can only be heard by Kurokawa. But in Mikako-chan's testimony, the sound of the arsenal opening and closing was always heard before and after someone passed her door. That's right. After all, the person walked in and out of the arsenal at dawn. I can't think of anything other than these three people who showed up in the testimony. Haruhiko, Satsuki and Teruya. That's all lies. So Teruya, you went into the arsenal and I want to hear your reason to make sure. If you're really innocent, there's no reason to be in panic, right? Then, I'm really innocent. Really, I just went to the arsenal too. I just went in for a minute. Mir ist übrigens aufgefallen, Kindle wirkt halt wirklich wie ein Polizist irgendwie. So, der ist doch richtig intimidating. Ist euch das mal aufgefallen? Voll der Coole. I don't think there will be an end if this goes on like this. What is Teruya so afraid of? Because we're not certain. Come to think of it, there seems to be one suspicious thing about Teruya during the investigation. Oh nein. Nee. Junge, Spot Selection braucht wirklich keine Erklärung. Ja, das Ding in der Ecke. Put it out. Come to think of it, Teruya didn't say something... Teruya... Didn't you say something strange to me when I was investigating? What? Something strange? I don't know. I found a gun, it was dropped in the corner, and when I checked to investigate... Das hier mal ein bisschen lauter machen. Mach mal ein bisschen lauter. Suddenly you came and told me not to touch it because it will blow up. What do you mean, Maeda? Tell us in more detail. There was a gun in the corner of the arsenal that was hard to see. I tried to investigate why it was in a corner like that. Suddenly Teruya, who was nearby, went up and told me not to touch it because it would blow up if I shot. Maybe he thought I was going to use the gun. If you shoot it will blow up? What are you talking about? No, before answering that question, what did he know about that? Maeda, the gun. Did you properly investigate it? Huh? I did examine it roughly, but it was a normal gun with nothing special. I thought it was equipped with a bomb or something, because I thought it was going to explode. Probably it's not like that. Hey, Monokuma! Eh? Did you call me? I was enjoying this. What's up? I require you to submit evidence. Bring the gun Maeda mentioned. What? Why am I being ordered? Submit evidence? Is that even possible? It is part of the debate on the class trial. There's no problem by the rules. You, the judge, have no right to deny it. Ich mach die Musik doch wieder ein bisschen leiser. Ich fix grad meine Ohren. That's correct. There's no preference in rejecting it. Besides, if it's part of the discussion, what's the point? Yeah, I really don't like that attitude. How can you be so cheeky? Shut up and get it already! Actually, I thought it was going to happen, and I bought it from the beginning. Now, here you go. How is it? This is it. It's a bullet. Bullet. It was loaded. It's not a simple bullet. It's a bullet for shotguns and medium-sized rifles. Bullets that do not meet the standards were forcibly loaded to this gun. If you pull the trigger with one of these, a bullet that doesn't fit into the magazine, it enters the chamber and blocks the muzzle, and of course no bullet shell comes out. The pressure from the gunpowder has disappeared from where it's supposed to go. Instead, it goes spreading all over the gun itself. It will end up being shattered. Wait a minute, but then why did Tsuya know about this? Why? I see now what you did in the arsenal. Atori-kun, did you change the bullets on purpose? For what reason? The gun in that state, if you hold it with a human hand and fire it, your hands will never be safe. When I listen to those words just now, I see a very similar wound I remember in my mind. Yes, the source is clear. Haruhiko's right hand. I understand now how Hiko was hit by the explosion of the pistol that Kindle was holding right now. The evidence was also in the arsenal. That proof is... das hier? Ja, aber... Ist der dumm? Ist der dumm oder so? Aber Kindle hat doch gerade die Waffe in der Hand gehabt. Die ist doch nicht kaputt. Habt ihr irgendwie Brain Damage? Mekaru, bitte hilf mir. Ja, that's right. Wie weit sind wir? 1 Stunde 12? Ich habe das Gefühl, wir sind hier seit Ewigkeiten und wir sind bei 1 Stunde 12, Alter. Was? It wasn't the arsenal. The fragments of a gun filled with blood, which appeared to have been burst from the inside. Yeah, I saw it too. Haruhiko fired the gun wrongly, loaded, just like this gun, and the gun he was holding exploded. His hand ended up being ruptured. Then Atori-kun did this to Kawashikawa-kun. Wait a minute, I'm sure this gun is the one I touched, but I don't know about the other destroyed gun. Ha! You admitted it. The fact that you touched the gun. Huh? No. Of course, there are 2 guns with mid-loaded bullets. It's a little weird, but I'm certain to you definitely did something. Is that really it? I think if we pry a little more, you'll end up confessing everything. Don't treat people as criminals without solid evidence. Even if I put my hands on a gun, it can't be proved that I am the killer. So I don't know anything. Give me the proof. Evidence! It can't be denied that Tsuya is the most powerful suspect right now. But is there any more solid evidence? If we keep discussing, we might see something we haven't considered before. Oh ne, der Bullet Scan schon wieder. Oh, let's go. Oh, ich hab keinen Bock auf den Bullet Scan. Aber gut, dass das Spiel mich vorwarnt, wenn ich den brauche. I don't know anything! It's already been revealed. Stop lying and tell the truth. You went to the arsenal, you deliberately loaded the gun wrongly so that the bullets would explode. But only doing it doesn't mean I'm the culprit, does it? Of course you loaded the gun. You can say it doesn't make you the culprit, but... The killer loaded the bullets on purpose. I'm certain of this. That's far-fetched. I'm not a killer because I did that one thing. You're treating me as a culprit. You knew that the gun was going to explode. What more evidence do you want to see? Tori-kun, how could you? Nein! Oh nein, das wollte ich nicht. Oh, ich wollte scannen. Oh, ich musste Escape drücken. Weil ich... Mir ist gerade eingefallen, wir brauchen Pen and Paper. Ah, fuck, jetzt habe ich ein Herz verloren. Wir müssen damit agreeen, glaube ich. Ich kann das aber nicht lesen, wenn das so schief ist. Tori-kun, how could you? Ich versuch's trotzdem. I should have noticed. The moment you asked us to pick pen and paper was... You murderer! Ja, sorry, ich konnte das nicht lesen, weil es schief war. Ach, ja. Weil überlegt mal, Shibuya war der Einzige, der den scheiß Brief schreiben konnte an Habu. Okay, aber die Frage ist, muss ich jetzt... Nee, ich muss nicht mit Kindle agreeen. Nee, das muss ich nicht. Ich muss das hier anschließen. Richtig, weil... Er hat nicht nur das gemacht, er hat auch noch den Brief geschrieben. That's it, the paper and pen. What? After listening to Taiwa's words, I thought about it. Jo, habe ich eigentlich den Ton? Ich habe den wieder auf 79, ja. After listening to Taiwa's words, I thought about it. At the beginning of the trial, you guys remember the letter that you said when you were blaming Satsuki? I've been thinking it's been weird all this time. How did the culprit write this letter? He should have lost all of our belongings at the same time we were in the ballroom. Even that? Yeah, how did... Oh! Yes, exactly as Maeda says. Perhaps the night before the murder there was someone who secretly handed out a piece of paper that had been secretly showing in paper. To ask someone to choose two victims. Ich glaube, das wird Pen stehen und nicht Paper das eine Mal. Ah. It's obvious at this point that Shibuya clearly said it at the time. The extra paper and pen were not removed from his clothes. That means Shibuya is the only one of us who has a paper and pen in their belongings. Don't look around! You could have accidentally found another piece of paper and wrote in it! Oh, is that so? Should we check it then? Monokuma, bring that letter. I knew that would happen, so I bought it in advance. Here! Now, about that guy making a commotion, let's read it. This must be. It's the same paper Shibuya had. Tori-kun was the one who sent that letter to Koboshikawa-kun's room? Wait a minute, you're forcing me! I handed out a bunch of papers to you guys, and after that when Kinzo made a fuss, he might have gotten one in the mass of confusion! If it's only paper, it might be possible. But what about your side, Shibuya? Shibuya, you said with your own words that there's only one pen. No matter how much paper you had, you cannot write a letter without a pen. The pen was also in the confusion. And that means you don't have the pen right now because you said you only have one. If we look into your belongings and the party clothes you wear, you won't have any complaints, right? Musst du ganz kurz Pause drücken. That's not allowed! Why not? Is that something we shouldn't see? Komm, gib's doch einfach zu. It's decided then. You can't refute it anymore. He wrote the letter by calling out Haruhiko at misloading a bullet to let his hand be rubbed shut. All of this, that's what you did to Shibuya. Really? You, Tori-kun? Why? Why? Why did you do that? Why did you kill Koboshikawa-kun? I'm sorry. All you said was right. After all, you couldn't send a hanger too. What else could someone do otherwise? Actually, there was a reason I was aiming at Haruhiko, and there was a reason for when we fought each day. It was all because of hunger. Oh, Tori-kun. So what? Were you hoping for sympathy? Either way, you planned the murder and executed it. No, I have nothing to say. I don't want to make excuses and dishonor Haruhiko anymore. I'm going to die anyways. Wait, there's one thing I'm curious about. Why did you go to the arsenal before the victim? Work with the gun, write a letter to call him, then go back again to the arsenal. My plan was to originally summon Haruhiko and then go see him into the arsenal, and I would go with him. As if it had nothing to do with a criminal, Haruhiko and I were supposed to fight, and then provoke him and letting him shoot me with the gun I prepared. Once that happens, his hand would fly away without knowing anything, and so he would die. In the past, I followed my papa to study guns in America. Then I decided to commit a crime by using the knowledge I gained at the time. So I went back to my room and watched to see Haru coming out, but I was too tired, so I fell asleep until morning came. In the end, I don't know the reason why Haru broke his hand, but in any case, it was my fault. The fact that I killed Haruhiko doesn't change. Ich muss meins noch mal was trinken. This was a difficult answer to even predict. I'm glad you're such a fool. In a way, Kurokawa, who was watching the corridor all day morning, I think that was a good thing. Thanks to that, my crime was discovered. Teruya. The discussion so far has ended with the conclusion that Teruya is the culprit? It seems like a long shot, I think. There's still a lot of unsolved questions. Wait a minute, I've been listening all this time! Something is wrong with this! Teruya is not the culprit! Satsuki-san, what are you talking about? Otori-kun just admitted it. I mean, the culprit is me! Are you still saying that? I told you to shut up! Wait. Is Teruya really the culprit? Eh? Even Mikako-san? If I'm right, Teruya is not the culprit. There's still an unsolved mystery. What are you guys talking about? I'm the culprit, aren't I? I'm almost 90% certain that Teruya is the culprit, but it's still a little too early to end the trial. I agree that there's an unsolved mystery left. If we tried to work without anyone speaking up like this, I would have tried to do it, but actually this is the most important part of the case right now. Eh? Huh? What's this all of a sudden? Wasn't the trial ending like this? That's right, if you think about it carefully. There's still a lot of parts that cannot be explained on the contents of the discussion. But I'd like to hear why Kurokawa thinks Teruya is not the culprit. You weren't careful enough, even for Kinlo. What? Nothing. Anyway, if you listen to the explanation, you'll know right away. Okay, ja, was brauchen wir? Wahrscheinlich brauchen wir Gunshot Chest Wound. Weil er wird ja in die Brust angeschossen. Nee. How do you think Teruya isn't the culprit? When Teruya passed the door to my room, he sent a letter to Haruhiko. Afterwards, he went inside the arsenal for his next plan. This is the explanation so far. But after that, Teruya passed the door to my room again. There was no movement until the morning after. But they were... Even if Teruya did plot something, even if Haruhiko's hand did explode, the direct cause of death is a gunshot wound. True, Teruya didn't mention that he used the gun himself. If Teruya came out of the arsenal before Haruhiko could not kill. And one more thing, the arsenal was blocked from the inside. Does anyone know about this? Ja, wir müssen auf das schließen, was Kurokawa gerade gesagt hat. Zuletzt, wir müssen mit ihr agreeen, der Woodplank. Constant! Oh yeah! Mich nervt, dass mir ein Herz fehlt, Mann! The Woodplank! Are you referring to this Kurokawa? That's right, Maeda. You mean a broken wood? Ah, sorry, ich hab's aus Versehen weggedrückt. Yeah, according to Maeda, he opened the arsenal door in the morning with Teruya's help. You're not going to say just because they opened the door together he's not the culprit, are you? That's not it. Think about it. After Teruya entered and left the arsenal in the morning, Haruhiko entered afterwards. Until this moment, the door to the arsenal was open. Then, when was the door blocked with the wood planks? Well, when was it? It is for a fact that Kobayashi couldn't open the door and went in. Doesn't that mean that the door was blocked after that? That is true, but according to Dark Circle's testimony, Teruya Otori did not even enter the arsenal after doing his little scheme. In other words, Teruya wasn't the one who blocked the door of a wood plank. It's only natural. When I tried to open the door with Maida in the morning, I was embarrassed to know that the arsenal, which had only been opened, was not opening. As I said before, you must pass by Kurokawa's room. Even if you don't, you can head to the arsenal door. Also, after that, the door to the arsenal was opened one more time. At that time, Teruya finished his plan. That's impossible, since Haruhiko was the last one to enter. The arsenal door has been only opened once. If Teruya went in and out of the arsenal, I should have heard the sound twice. Well, for starters, the wood plank were used to clasp the door, I guess. If you do something like this from the inside, you would be able to come out. That's true. But even if you put a plank by some trick from outside, there wasn't just one plank. You know what I'm talking about, right, Maeda? Ja, die Bombe. Yes, there wasn't just one plank. Yes, I saw it clearly. The thing had fell off the plank near the door. At the same time, it fell to the ground. As soon as the plank was crushed and made a loud noise. That thing was... Right, the objects that were separated from the plank. You mean the flash and smoke grenades, right? Flash? Smoke grenades? Ah, is that the thing that were near the door? Yes, when Teruya and I first opened the door, we heard a shattering sound from the inside, and immediately afterwards, it for me... amount of light and noise hit us, and then after a few moments when we opened our eyes, the arsenal was filled with smoke. After pulling out the plank from the handle, the door was opened and the plank fell because of the effort we did. That's right. Now you see, it's impossible to block the door like that from the outside. What? And are you saying that Torikon is not the culprit? Wait a moment, but it was me who wrote that letter and had the gun ready to explode. It was the reason Haru saw the gun, and then it exploded on his hand. I told you a little while ago, it is true that Haruhiko's right hand was ruptured, but the cause of death was the gunshot wound. Teruya, you only prepared the gun, but you didn't shoot Haruhiko, did you? No! Hold it, Teruya had an obvious murder intent. Now it's a contradiction to say that he isn't the culprit. What's wrong, Mr. Psycho Cop? Using forceful logic in that way doesn't seem like it would reach an answer like this. Dark Circle is right. I don't think Teruya Otori is the killer either. Then who is the culprit? You're saying it's impossible for Teruya to block a door. However, no one else can do it. That's true. That's the biggest mystery in this case. So what are you all saying is, in short, it's an impossible crime. Ja, und jetzt kommt die Pause, ne? Ja, jetzt kommt die Pause. Krank, wir sind in 3/4 Stunde drin und jetzt schon die Pause. Also ich habe ja gesagt, das Classfile ist richtig kurz. Also wirklich. Und vielleicht das kürzeste im ganzen Spiel. Gut, nochmal speichern. Ich würde auch nochmal aufs Klo gehen dann. Hallo? Ich vergesse immer, dass mein Hotkey Steuerung und zurück ist und nicht Shift und zurück. So, Freunde. By the way, Daily Life war halt sehr lange in dem Chapter. Ich glaube, daran liegt es, dass das File so kurz ist. Aber, naja, Safe Game. Und weiter geht's. An impossible crime? What does that mean? It's literally what it means. The incident happened, but no one in the state is capable of causing the incident itself. That can't be. I can affirm. There's no such a thing as an impossible crime in this world. I agree with this. There is no unsolved problem in the world. When a result has happened, it means that there was a series of processes. In this case, how do you explain it? To assert that this was an impossible crime, you gave up on the case. There's a secret that has not yet been that has not yet been solved, where your thoughts don't reach to the end. But if neither Kinjo nor Mekaru, who always knew the critical points of the case, weren't confused enough to say that it's already a mystery that can't be solved? Shut up! Do I look like I'm panicking right now? Sorry, but it looks like that. It's been a few days now, but these days Kinjo-kun is not Kinjo at all. Just like Maeda-kun before becoming to the ballroom. You're being very annoying, damned criminal! Their voice crack war real. Kindler, why are you saying that? It's not really like you to get emotional so easily. Ignore it. Now we're on a trial. This is a life or death war. If you take care of someone who loses their temper during a war, you'll have to go through them. There's no other option. This person or that person. I'm done! Again, this case isn't an unsolved crime. Let's organize the information. Kindler. First, even if we put on hold Teruya's claim that the crime is impossible, it will be necessary to look at the case from a different point of view. A different point of view? In Rito perspective, all of the reasoning we've done so far is based on Kurokawa's testimony. Let's step back here for a moment. Has anyone ever seen Kurokawa spying on the hallway? What do you mean? In short, Kurokawa's testimony is not too blind, but are Kurokawa's words 100% true? She would be hungry in extreme circumstances. Would she bear with that in mind? Lastly, there could be a possibility that Kurokawa was the culprit. When that idea comes up, she could be playing with all of us. Kinzo. Hey, did you went crazy? Did you really flip around that fast? That's stuff that comes from your mouth. What? I'm talking about possibilities. Possibilities, one kiss is all it takes for the love of me. At the time of Tomori's murder, during Kindler's testimony, you put a threat on our private room doors. Doom wars! To prove our alibis. But that was evidence that no one else knew other than Kindler. It's the same story. It's different from that. What I've been doing at that time is what I've been doing before the incident. And this is just simply what you've seen and heard testimony. It is meaningless to condemn the truth or falsehood in a testimony. Did you forget what you said? Doppelmoral. It's utterly disappointing, Tsurugi Kindler. Even though I was thinking you were just a crazy guy, I admitted your reasoning skills, but now you've stopped thinking with your head. But since the situation is quite desperate, isn't Kindler trying to do everything he can? Kurokawa, is there no way to prove it? From testimony, I mean. Ich muss mal irgendwas trinken. I don't know why I have to do this. Why not ask Satsuki or Teruya? Huh? You've heard about my testimony? Teruya admitted that he entered the arsenal a while ago. What about you, Satsuki? If I was out at dawn, well, like Kurokawa said, since I'm the killer above top, of course I wanted the one at dawn. Even if we ignore the backstory, Darkstalker's testimony is reliable in its own right now. If I were you, I would have known it right away, without having to do this cumbersome work. You're noisy. As long as your reasoning hits the wall, it's a way to do what you can. You admitted with your own words that your reasoning was blocked now? That's funny. Be quiet, Mekaru! You are on the same level as we are right now. Do you think you're in a position to mock others now? That's enough. How come Kurokawa can have this powerful voice in a class trial? Everyone, don't get worked up. Ja, ich habe schon wieder 2 Nachrichten. Warte mal, sind meine Kopfhörer eigentlich voll? Nö, sind sie nicht, aber welche Farbe hat das Case? Ah, es ist grün, ja, ich lade ihn noch ein bisschen weiter. This is a difficult case. We need to regain stability more than usual. So let's calm down and look back again from the beginning. There must be something we missed. Sorry, as Maeda says, I was getting too excited. I apologize. Then, Teruya Otori is not the culprit, I'm sure up to this point. Even if that's true, we'll have to double check. Teruya, are you really sure you sent a letter to Haruhiko and loaded the bullets? Well, yes. I'd say I still can't believe I'm not the culprit. I didn't really read the Monokuma file properly, so in a hurry, I saw the right-hand ruptured, so I guess that I was the one who did it. That probably isn't a lie. Teruya really thought he was the killer. He said a little while ago, as if confessing, he told us he was going to be executed. It's not likely, but something came to my mind. Can I speak? Go ahead. An accomplice, in fact, there were 2 culprits. How about it? Dismissed! Anyways, all opinions from your brain like... Anyways, are all opinions from your brain like that or what? I didn't even expect it. Rubbish opinions like that. It's sorry not worth considering. Anything like that. Let's crumple it, take it out of your brain and take it out and throw it into the trash. That's unfair. I said it because I was just thinking it my own way. If Taruya had an accomplice, there would have been a person who objected at the time of him being accused as the culprit. Even if not, Taruya would have confessed everything and made a mistake in the end. But what if there was a real criminal and pointed out that Torikun as the culprit? Everyone except the real culprit dies, right? Can't you think about the development like the culprit used the Torikun? Oh, you're using your head. But that wouldn't be it. Even if a culprit secretly works behind Taruya or Tori to cover up his sins, it is impossible to work for him because of the limited circumstances in the arsenal. And even if there is an accomplice, if we believe we're using Kurokawa's testimony, the only suspect remaining is Iwanami, so she can't be. Huh? Wait a minute. I have thought that something passed like a flash in my head just now. No, I am the real culprit! You're relentless. Why are you claiming to be the killer? Even after that, you don't know anything about this case. The more you claim to be the culprit, the more you claim your innocence. You still don't know this? Let's organize our thoughts. First, Taruya is not the culprit. He didn't shoot. What Taruya did was calling Haru by using a ladder and make a trap that explodes the gun by misloading a bullet. And the person who killed Haruhiko himself. In other words, what the real culprit did, Taruya didn't do. That is grabbing a gun to kill Haruhiko, mess up the interior of the arsenal, and finally lock the door of a plank and the grenades. Taruya doesn't know what the real culprit did. If you think like that, conversely, does the culprit know what Taruya did? No, the real culprit wouldn't know what Taruya did. As Makaru said earlier, what Taruya did was unknown to anyone since he was in the closed space of the arsenal. The culprit, unless the culprit directly sees it or Taruya tells them in advance. Then who's the killer? Wait guys, there's something I want to check for a moment. Maeda? Before Kurokawa watched during the morning, from that point on, what if someone was hiding inside the arsenal? Could there be such a chance? No, I don't think that would happen. Kindle was tied up, and I saw Taiwa going to her room before. Makaru, the last time she went into the empty room to the left of the dance hall, she didn't exit the room at all. Woher willst du das wissen? Du hast die ganze Zeit in deinem Raum geschillt. When did you see this? Well, you're right. I was investigating the empty room all day long. Then, only two suspects as Kurokawa has seen. They don't know what each one have done. In other words, the real culprit doesn't know that Haruhiko received the letter, and they don't know why their hand was ruptured. For some reason, Haruhiko was shot with a gun and killed. Someone who could fit the conditions right now. They turned themselves at the start of this trial. They entered in the suspect view since they moved at dawn. No one else can commit a crime at this stage. But is this person really the culprit? If so, why in the world? It has to be you. Haniwa. Kiba! All of you guys want to admit it, but I think I know now. The identity of the culprit. What? Maeda, can you know the killer? The person who satisfies all the conditions as the true culprit of this case can only be you. Satsuki. What? Satsuki is the killer? Hooray! You finally come to think of me as the culprit. Only Yuki understands me. I'm so glad. Wait, Maeda, look at her now. She was picked as the culprit, but she looks rather content. Do you really think that Satsuki is the culprit? Think about it. The only one who can possibly do this is Satsuki. At the beginning of the trial, when Satsuki came out saying she was the culprit, we were trying to interrogate her to see if she really was. However, Satsuki had no idea of the letter that called Haruhiko and his destroyed right hand. And we thought the culprit would know, of course. So we thought, because of these reasons, that she wasn't the real culprit. But take a look. Ich habe irgendwas in meinem Hals stecken, Moment mal. The two things mentioned earlier are actually from Taruya's doing, not the culprits. Taruya didn't know that there was someone who killed Haruhiko by shooting him with a separate gun. So on the contrary, did the culprit know that Taruya sent a letter and destroyed his hand? Probably not. It would be impossible to know Taruya's actions unless he himself told the culprit in advance. Then the real culprit would be a person who doesn't know why the letter was sent to Haruhiko's room, and why his right hand exploded even though they didn't know why his hand ended up that way. And there is someone who meets these conditions. The person who confessed with their own voice that they killed Haru by shooting them, but didn't mention about the right hand nor the letter. And that person is Satsuki. Well, I'm not sure what you're saying. Because it's difficult, but anyways, that's right. It was me. I killed Haruhiko. I think Maeda-kun's reasoning is making sense, but I don't really understand Satsuki-chan's appearance being like that. Why did you do this, Satsuki-chan? Why did you like it so much when you're being named as a killer? Kubashikawa-kun, who was close to Satsuki-chan with her own hands. How can you say it so lightly that you killed him? Aren't you sad? Think again, incompetent. Of course it's possible to commit a crime as you said. As only that woman, but that is absolutely not the reaction of the killer. I'm not crazy, it's very normal. Actually, I don't know why Satsuki reacts like that and keeps saying that she's the culprit. However, I can't think of any other reasoning. Maeda's words make sense. In fact, at the time Teruya was not found to be the killer. It was enough to doubt Satsuki because of the circumstances. Maybe, as soon as the trial began, Satsuki couldn't be the culprit. He was stuck in stereotypes, and we didn't think about it more thoroughly. Satsuki, I'll check once more. Are you the culprit? Haruhiko, you killed him with a gun in your hand? Yeah, that's right. I'm the killer. Wait, if you're the real culprit, can you explain why you're so positive? You were like the one constantly appealed to him as the culprit. I don't know. Just when the trial started, it became bothersome to make excuses. So that's why it was confessed. Now, if it's time, go ahead and execute me. If you sound so refreshingly like that, it doesn't look like you're a criminal, on the contrary. I have my doubts too. In the first place, Satsuki-chan doesn't have a personality to kill. Even though that she was at least resolute to this point, like Mikao said. It would rather seem like we're choosing the wrong killer and we're gonna die together. That's not it at all. I was just telling the truth. What do I do? It's hard to make sure after identifying the killer. This attitude Satsuki has. The reaction that defies understanding, like Mikao said. Hallo? Even like this, can I still point Satsuki as the culprit? Hallo, meine Tastatur, was ist mit dir los? Everyone, stop! Why are you thinking about the crime as possible, but the reaction is weird? Wake up already! The crime is impossible, even for Satsuki! Why is that? But Kinzo, based on the testimony by Kurokawa, Haruhiko, Teruya and Satsuki entered the arsenal at dawn. One of them, Teruya was the first to come out of the arsenal, and then Haruhiko entered the arsenal, because he was walking through the corridor with Satsuki. Just before this point, if they entered the arsenal together, then that means... Perhaps it was at this time that Haruhiko used the gun. And this is likely to be true, just by looking at the sound of the arsenal opening, and Satsuki coming out alone from the corridor. Back off, Maeda. You said it with your own words just now. Satsuki kills Haruhiko and gets out of the arsenal all alone. If she came out, how did she lock the door then? It's a clue that you guys found and checked yourselves, right? It's impossible to block the door from the outside in that way. If so, the killer was in the arsenal, at least until Maeda and Teruya opened the door. However, Satsuki came out of the arsenal before this. Does this sound like she could still be the killer? And if you look at Satsuki's reaction, that girl used a weapon, but it seems she doesn't know that the arsenal was blocked. So now what? Is Satsuki a ninja now? Oh, what was that again? Oh, wait, I know, maybe you don't know. Yo, sorry, es geht mir so auf den Sack, Alter. Mein Darm ist wie ein Motor. Alle 2 Sekunden muss ich... schon wieder. Das gibt's nicht. Maybe you don't know, but what if you used the plank of wood as a barricade? It seems you were asleep during the trial. How about it? Is there anyone who still thinks Satsuki is the culprit? After listening to Kindlo, it seems that Satsuki is really not the culprit. Ey, Junge, das geht nicht, Alter. In the end, the problem lies with the arsenal door being blocked. If we solve this, there should be no problem, even if Satsuki is the culprit. Even if you think about it again, it is impossible to put a wood plank inside the arsenal from the outside of grenades on. Junge, ich muss Mercedes mal eben schreiben, dass ich gerade aufnehme, Alter. There's no time frame at all. I think the current prerequisites were all wrong. The public here probably won't solve this mystery. I'd rather go back from the very beginning and reorganize the case instead. Well, it sounds nice and all, but I hate it when a trial is taking too long. Don't you? It's not a warning, but you better wrap things up soon. Das Trial geht gerade mal eine Stunde, Junge. Chill mal, Alter. Denk mal an Hatanos Trial. Das ging 3 Stunden oder so. The alibis of Dank, Kurokawa's testimony, Toruya's behavior, wood plank that blocked the arsenal, and Tatsuki's incomprehensible reactions. Maybe if we missed something else? Why does Tatsuki have that attitude in the first place? Even Kinjo seems to be confused. The reasoning is at the very core right now. I think Kinjo is right. Blocking the door to Tatsuki, this is a big problem. My mind is getting more and more complicated. Right now, this is the most important aspect of the case. The arsenal door, the wood plank, the grenades, to block the door from the outside. Wait, you don't need to go back to the start. If you think about it a little, it should become clear. It's an utter waste of time. Wait a minute, what's the reason for the flash grenade and the smoke screen? At the moment the door opens, if the criminal hidden inside escapes through the light and smoke, and Pflicht to block the arsenal from the inside is solved. But I'm afraid not. This was already mentioned. It's ridiculous when you think about Dark Circuit's testimony at the very beginning. It's been seen that Teruya Otori and Satsuki Iwanami, both of them came out of the arsenal. Inside the arsenal, the last one who came out. It was Satsuki, I am sure. But opening the door and coming out of the arsenal means the door was not blocked until that last moment. Well, in the world, doesn't that mean that the body of Haruhiko was left alone in the arsenal until just before Maeda and I opened the door together in the morning? Wait a second, it doesn't make sense! It wasn't the body that was... It wasn't that the body was alive and blocked the door alone. Oh no, this is starting to sound creepy somehow. Huh? Terra, wait a second, what did you just say? Eh? Did it start to get creepy? Not that, before that! The body moved and blocked the door? Like a zombie from a movie? Well, of course it won't. Such health sciences. Unscientific. It's like the bear in front of our very eyes. It's unscientific. Hey, what the heck did you just say? I'll have you know, I'm a cutting-edge science product. Body moved and blocked the door? Of course, a reality that does not exist. But as Ruya said earlier, it was how alone we remained in the arsenal until the end. No way! Could it be? The person who blocked the door to the arsenal. That person's identity is. Und da muss ich mal wieder googeln, aber ich kann es auf dem Handy googeln. Ganz kurz. Ich brauche eigentlich nur seinen Namen. Aber ich brauche seinen koreanischen Namen. Der steht hier nirgends. Ah, da oben steht er. Okay. Fun Fact. Ich habe das erste Mal bei diesem Flash-Anagramm habe ich versucht zu raten. Bin dann irgendwann gestorben und habe mir dann gedacht, okay, ich google. Weil ich habe das immer mit Raten gemacht bis zu diesem Class-Trial hier. Und ich bin damit auch durchgekommen tatsächlich bis zu diesem Class-Trial hier. Und dann kam irgendwie ein Glitch, dass der das nicht mehr akzeptiert hat, was richtig war. Hat mich das sauer gemacht. War die Musik sonst auch immer schon so? Ich muss erst das Ding hier. So, als nächstes kommt das da oben. Ach, Junge, ich muss das Handy aus der Hand legen. Moment mal, ich muss mal ganz kurz aufstellen irgendwie. Also diese A mit dem Strich und dem Pimmelchen. Also das hier. So, das danach haben wir schon. Dann diese 7 mit dem Strich daneben. Hallo? Hallo, meine Tastatur, dankeschön. Dann das mit dieser 2 da oben. Und zu guter Letzt eins, das so ähnlich aussieht mit einem O. Nee, Moment, das ist das hier. Sorry. Das hier was, oder? Hallo. Dankeschön. Ja. That's it. It has to be only him. The identity of the person who blocked the door to the arsenal. Ich muss aufs Klo, Leute, es geht nicht mehr. So, ich habe mal eben ein paar Nudeln gegessen und eine Serie geschaut. Ich glaube, der Ton ist jetzt auch ein bisschen laut, ja. Really? Maeda, do you know who the killer is? I don't know. I don't think you're about to say it was Kubashikawa könnte. That's because the body moved, right? I was just cloaking. No, thanks to Taiwa, I came up with something else. That's right, the only one that could block the arsenal door was no one else other than Haruhiko. Haruhiko is the culprit? You saying he committed suicide? Wait, have you forgotten? As Monokuma said, suicide is forbidden. And if you kill yourself in any way or form, he will treat it as a dog's death. Haruhiko was murdered by someone other than himself. That's why Monokuma treated this as a case, and a class trial was held like this. I must think, sorry. No, Maeda never said that he committed suicide. He said the person who blocked the door to the arsenal was Haruhiko. What? Like Maeda said, the person who killed Haruhiko with a gun is the killer, Satsuki. But it was impossible for Satsuki, the task of blocking the arsenal. But was possible for Haruhiko. How about it? This means the reason why Satsuki can't be the culprit. It's now gone. No, that can't be possible! The fact that Haruhiko blocked the door to the arsenal is just a simple assumption. That may be possible in context, and there's no evidence for this. No evidence? No, there's proof of this. I don't mean ill will just because Haru blocked the door without any evidence. But Kindle wouldn't be unaware of this evidence? Why does he argue so much? No, let's not bother right now. What the case comes first. The evidence not that Haru may have blocked the arsenal door is... was wollt ihr von mir? Das? Ja, das. There's evidence. It's the blood. Blood. The blood is splattered in the arsenal. Everyone has seen it, right? Didn't you think it was a little strange looking? Oh, it certainly felt a little weird. It felt like, well, you know, like it was a world made by blood rather than a blood spot. That's right. It's looking like bloodstains wandering around in the arsenal. After Haruhiko was shot, wouldn't it explain he was bleeding while looking for boards, flash and smokescreen grenades? It is plausible, but would it be compelling that Haruhiko Kawashikawa locked the door of the arsenal simply by looking at this blood? It's not reasoning, but a realm of speculation. But it's not a contradiction. Only Haruhiko has a certain possibility, and even if the culprit dragged the body, there's no reason for it, only leaves evidence behind. No, it is a contradiction! Kindlo. I concede that all Maeda's words were all true. But Haruhiko was murdered by a very cruel killer. Let me ask a simple question. Why in the world would the victim help elaborating more tricks for the killer, if not to leave evidence for their crime? The answer is, you don't know about that. But if you wonder around about emotional things that look at only the information left on the case, it makes sense that it is Haruhiko that just closed the door even with the process of elimination method. This is not about being emotional. This is about the victim helping the killer. There can't be such a thing. Stockholm Syndrome? I don't believe in any of that crap. That kind of thing is psychotic. Even that requires the premise that the killer had some kindness and gentle behavior towards their victim. But does this reflect reality? Did the killer show kindness to Haruhiko? No. Rather they murdered him in cold blood. Maeda's reasoning is the worst, not to mention forced and far-fetched. Hey, what is the Stockholm Syndrome? It's when victims are held hostage by a robber or kidnapper, but rather they think of them as their saviors. It's like a phenomenon that antagonizes rescuers, police, etc. and they take the criminal's side. Ich muss mal ganz kurz mein Handy wieder anstöpseln. Meine Kopfhörer sind ja voll. Von daher, für mein Peak-Besäufnis, ich bin ja Mr. Akku, ihr wisst es ja. Kindlo, it's weird. If you were the usual you would rather have ruled out such emotional things and reasoned it out by considering the logical situations. You said I was being emotional? This is natural! You just don't see it! If the victim who deserves salvation agrees to the obvious evil, it becomes impossible to reason with. This choice is not logical here! Saving them is what I have to do. I can't leave alone your pretentious reasoning. And besides that, there are loopholes in your reasoning. I just do what I have to do. I refute you! Jetzt geht's los, Alter. Entspann dich mal. I corrected ridiculous reasoning, Maeda. What the hell are you doing? Can't you know it's best that there's no more to refute here? You're making an unacceptable reasoning from my point of view. That can't happen, and it shouldn't happen. And if there's anything to refute, then I do it, Maeda! Na, ich glaube, ich kann das noch. Skip and slash Psycho Cop. Okay, let's fucking go. Was brauchen wir? Gunshot Wounds. Test Area. Kindlos Testimony brauchen wir, glaube ich. Ich meine, ich erinnere mich da an irgendwas. Say something that makes sense, Maeda. Yo! 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 Nee, das lese ich auf keinen Fall, Alter. Ich wollte es eigentlich lesen, aber der rastet mir zu sehr aus. T-Shirt, Shot und Self-Defense, ja. Und? Give more clues to the culprit. Oh, there had the kill of his own death. Okay, man könnte es tatsächlich lesen, aber ich habe es am Anfang nicht gemacht, also mache ich das auch nicht. However, it's impossible for Satsuki to block the door to the arsenal. Satsuki don't know this, right? At that point, it was only Haru in the arsenal who could have done this. The unnatural bloodstains support this fact. Ich mach schon wieder aufs Klo, was soll das? Hallo? Jetzt sagt er wahrscheinlich Instant Death oder so. Er sagt wirklich Instant Death! Hä? Das sah gerade so, als hätte ich Schaden genommen. Ich war richtig verwirrt gerade. Ich glaube, man hat gemerkt, wie verwirrt mich war. Kindlo, that's wrong. Haruhiko did not die immediately. You can say what you want, Maeda. As I said, Haruhiko had his chest pierced. Since the bullet in his body... Ah, sorry, jetzt habe ich es aus Versehen weggedrückt. He would have no choice but to die immediately. No, Haruhiko did not die immediately. His chest was struck, but the bullet penetrated through Haruhiko without getting stuck in his body. Because the amount of shock is relatively less than... The moment it gets stuck, it would have been possible for him to move. Speculations. Anyone can make that claim. Stop it now, Kindlo! This is not speculation. It was you, Tsugi Kindlo, who told me this. Ah! Incompetent, is that true? If it's about the bullet pierced, of course I'm well aware of it, but... Was it the cop who told you about this? Yes, during the investigation I thought he had died because he was shot in the chest at first, but... Kindlo told me. I heard that his death might not have been immediate, but he could have had trouble breathing, so he was able to move for a little more time. At that time I just said it as a guess only! Kindlo-kun, why are you arguing so much? In this case, it's like Kindlo-kun is the culprit. We named Satsuki-chan as the culprit. And Kamoshikawa-kun did the backwork. But why are you still arguing so much? Shut up, criminal! Haruhiko was murdered! He was also labeled as the victim that I had to protect. A victim who deserved protection. Was actually on the killer's side? It's something like that. It can't be! Kindlo. Yeah, I can't listen to this far-fetched logic. According to your logic, Kizuna Tomori was also a victim, but in reality, she was actually a terrifying bitch who was planning a crime. Are you saying that you would tolerate Tomori's murder plan? That's wrong. In that case, it was due to the accident, not the victim. Also, refuting such a subject to the incompetent, which it was, Haruhiko Komoshikawa tried to kill Satsuki Iwanami. It makes no sense to help him in a situation where it leaves more evidence to the culprit. Ah, but look here! The victim you had to protect was the reverse thought after trying to kill someone. They are very good citizens indeed. No! 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 I am... What the hell am I for so many days? For... Kindlo? Kindlo! Kindlo-kun is down! Kindlo, wake up! Kindlo... Hey! What is right there? We're still on trial! I don't admit going out of the courtroom at your own will. But Kindlo is... Oh, this is a headache. Fainting and getting upset during a trial. It's a taboo to get out from the courtroom during the trial. But I guess it can't be helped. Kindlo-kun, I'll take you into the dormitory. You guys don't have to move. Stay in your seats. Einer weniger. Geil. Everyone's been waiting for a while, right? Kindlo-kun arrived safely to his dorm bed, so don't worry about it and let's continue the trial. But this doesn't make things fun. Now Kindlo-kun is outside the courtroom. The fact that he was sent out means that he was the culprit. Now the number of people is decreased by 1. Dun dun dun. Kindle, I'm sure he'll be okay. It's the first time that Kindle looked like that. Ich wusste auch gar nicht, dass der so ausrastet, Alter. Ich wusste zwar, dass der kollapst und alles, aber ich wusste nicht, dass der so ausrastet vorher. As Monokuma said, we are still on trial. Forget about him for now. He's not even dead, is he? Oh, right. So, where did we left off? The carpet is Satsuki. She couldn't block the door to the arsenal. Only how Hiko. Is it okay to make this decision then? Does anyone have a different opinion? A different opinion? I think that's the only thing we have? There's no disagreement. Of course, it's logical. As Tsugi Kindlo said, I also don't understand why Haruhiko Kawashikawa, in the victim's position, helped the killer. That's... I don't know either. After all, it's like we won't get a different decision now, right? Then, if you name me as the culprit, there will be no complaints and no one will be dissatisfied. Wait, not yet. Was geht jetzt ab? Huh? What else? You said that there was no reason to disagree. Why did Haruhiko Kawashikawa help the killer? And why this killer is so excited? Yeah. The same goes for me. Tatsuki, the reasoning about this case is over. Perhaps only looking at the reasoning result, I can't argue that you are the culprit. However, why? Why did you call yourself the killer? Are you trying to die? Why you ask? Well, like I said earlier, it became a nuisance, so that's a good reason, right? I'm not good at lying, but I think I do better than Tatsuki-chan. Don't mess around, you'll be executed if you let this go. If you die, the proof of this case will remain as a matter that will be solved. I am a woman who doesn't give up until I know 100% the problem I've challenged. Please tell us, Tatsuki. If you really are the culprit, you have a duty to take responsibility for your actions. Tell me, when I thought I was the culprit, all I could do was get blamed. What are you trying to hide? Let us hear it, Satsuki. I don't know! I'm just the culprit, that's all I am! Whoa, she started shouting! I don't know! Baka, 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 baka! Satsuki! As long as he stays like this, we have to force you to open your mouth, Satsuki. About the secret of this incident and what Haru was involved. The reason for your actions and claiming that you were the real culprit all along. Ja. Alter, 2 Stunden sind wir drin und jetzt haben wir den Tag-Shooting schon. Halleluja, Alter. Da hätte ich vor 5 Parts davon träumen können bei Hatanos Trial. Hallo, ich drück doch. Da unten kriege ich nicht mehr. Hallo, hallo, hallo! Nimm doch meine Inputs! Das wird nichts mehr. Das wird auf keinen Fall was. Ja, jetzt rastet die aus. Ja, das wird nichts. Also bis dahin muss man sie schon so weit runter haben, dass... Sonst wird das nichts. Gut, ich muss aufs Klo tatsächlich. Ich krieg das, glaube ich, nicht hin in dem Zustand. Ich bin gleich wieder da. So, Iwanami. Jetzt bist du dran. Diesmal gewinne ich, aber ich weiß, dass das richtig schwierig ist. Das ist wahrscheinlich eines der schwierigsten. Oder, ja, das ist das vorletzte. Ich glaube, gibt es im 5. Classfight auch so ein Ding? Ich weiß es gar nicht. Im 6. gibt es auf jeden Fall keins. Hallo, triff doch. Schieß doch. Oh, ich hasse es, wenn ich nachlade und der nimmt meinen Input nicht. Lad nach! Ja, das kriege ich nicht mehr. Jetzt hier. Irgendwann hatte ich auch mal einen Fehler gemacht, ja. Hallo! Nimm doch den scheiß Input! Fuck, das wird nicht. Ja, jetzt rastet die jetzt wieder aus. Fuck. Ich lebe noch! Yes! Woo, let's fucking go! The reasoning is over! Everything was explained, you have nothing more to say! The other pistol that broke Haru's hands. Oh mein Gott, Alter, das war thrilling. Das war exciting. Das war intense. Wake. The wheezing isn't over yet, Satsuki. It is already over. No, it's not. There's one more thing we've overlooked and crossed. Does anyone know? Was there anything like that? Satsuki-chan said, wasn't the reasoning over? It's about the pistol that destroyed Haruhiko Kawashikawa's right hand. That's right. Because we decided it was Teruya's doing earlier, we went over it. Actually, if you think a little bit, it wasn't Teruya that destroyed Haruhiko's right hand. What are you saying? That makes no sense, Maeda. I replaced the bullet and Haruhiko grabbed it as intended, and his right hand was destroyed. Stupid fool. I thought you said it's true. The gun he touched would have been shattered as well. How would it remain intact? Oh, wait, come to think of it, even when Otoriko was washed as the culprit, he said he didn't know why it ended up like that. That's right, I was freaking out for excuses. Ich habe gerade so einen Mini-Herzinfarkt gehabt, weil ich gedacht habe, dass die Aufnahme wieder auf Pause ist, aber das war sie nicht, lol. When I think about it again, if Haru uses the gun as I intended, the guns would have blown up. Teruya, are you sure you didn't touch the two guns? Right, I can assure you this. Terastnia only touched one gun unconditionally. Wait a minute, then won't it get even more weird? Unless Teruya did it, why did Kawashikawa get caught in the same trap what Toriko did and injured his right hand? That can't be deduced by us alone. It can't be deduced by us alone, except for one person, Satsuki. I don't know! No, you most likely know why. Satsuki, don't you remember? At the beginning of the class trial, you said Haruhiko tried to shoot you. And then you grabbed the gun and shoot him in self-defense and end up killing him. From here on out, it's just my thoughts. If Satsuki's words were true, wouldn't it have been that Haruhiko knew the gun would explode? He knew it was going to explode? Deliberately breaking his hand? Was he trying to commit suicide? Maybe so. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you, this is just unfolded from imagination. Just listen for now. I don't know how someone changed the bullets in the same manner that Teruya did, but it probably was Haruhiko himself who did it. Since the second half of the trial, the word suicide continued to rattle, because this case was just too weird to see it as an ordinary murder scenario. And in the end, Haruhiko did not commit suicide, because Monokuma doesn't deal with suicides. Ah, sorry, jetzt habe ich mir ausversehen gedrückt. He wouldn't have done it, because it just ends at a wasted death. So perhaps he thought about it like this. Was Haruhiko trying to save Satsuki? Trying to save her? Deliberately aiming at Satsuki the gun that explodes when shooting. Surprised, Satsuki shoots in response. Even if she shot the floor, he doesn't get hurt and only his hands fly away. And because Satsuki's shot hit him, his death wasn't treated as suicide. Later, when Satsuki leaves in surprise, he remains alone in the arsenal. He himself does the extra effort to make the case even more complicated. Like, for example, blocking the door to the arsenal and messing with the guns. Well, of course, there's no evidence of this. It's just my imagination. The fact that Haruhiko blocked the door seemed to be trying to help the killer, so I thought about it as a basis. Haruhiko, in order to save Satsuki, means he gave up his life? Hold on, that's plausible, but you always finish with the line of your imagination. There's a 0% chance that the incompetent's words are true. Why? I was listening to Maeda-kun and I was rather thinking that it was the truth. Think first. He gave up his life and tried to save someone else? Humans aren't that simple. They would be afraid to do it, even in an ordinary circumstance, but it would be even more unreasonable in an extreme situation where there's no food and living like us. But not long ago, Hatano, for Taira, she threw away her life. Ayame-san. That's not the case now. At that time, even the most extreme situation wasn't there, and she didn't save Akane Taira with 100% pure intentions. Did you forget? Ayame Atano clearly had a desire to save Akane Taira, but she also wanted to escape from here. She committed murder with such a sloppy heart, although she eventually revealed her true face to us. However, in the case of Haruhiko Kawashikawa, like Ayame Atano, there is not a single reason for themselves. According to the incompetence, he gave up his life 100% purely to only save Satsuki Iwanami. No matter how close Haruhiko Kawashikawa was with Satsuki Iwanami, it would be absurd to say that they were family members and gave up their life in these extreme circumstances. Of course that's true, and it deserves my respects. I know, what I said was an unfounded idea. You didn't really have to refute it like that. Of course I'm not saying it's absolutely impossible like that crazy cop. I don't think so. But it's absurd. Ich muss mal eben meine Zähne putzen, Leute. So, waren wir stehen geblieben? Of course I'm not saying it's absolutely impossible like that crazy cop. I don't think so. But it is absurd if he had been thinking of Satsuki Iwanami like that. He would have done something earlier, but I don't have a clue. But if Maeda-kun's words are wrong, how would you describe the reason for Kawashikawa-kun's right hand? I'll have to think about that more. As expected, it's not going to work out the way I thought. It seems like it's too absurd, as Mikaru said, and it's very difficult for someone to make a decision in order to save her life to the point of even giving up his life. Anyways, there is no objection that Satsuki is the culprit, is there? Do we really want to go over Haruhiko's right hand? I'd like this wrapped up as soon as possible. I'm getting bored of it. No, but we have to know the truth of this case. It's true. What? Yuki, are you a psychic? It's exactly as if you've read someone's mind. What are you talking about? I don't feel like an adult to keep trying to hide it and be a nuisance to all of you. I don't think that trial will ever be over at this rate. And as Yuki said, as long as you commit a murder, you gotta be responsible for it. Satsuki. Where should I start? Oh yeah, since Kobasin came to my room early in the morning, you know. Until this moment came, I couldn't imagine how everything played out. Who is it? Kobasin? What's wrong? Going around at dawn like this, you get hungry. I think I'm going to die hungry than killed. Satsuki, this is not a joke, so listen seriously. I have something to say to you. Mein Ohr juckt vor allem. Alter, mein Ohr hat die ganze Zeit nicht gejuckt. Kobasin? Okay, alright. Tell me. It will take a little time. Follow me for a minute. Kawashikawa, isn't that the arsenal? Why this place? Satsuki, is your body okay? You haven't eaten anything in a few days now. Is it painful? Yeah, I'm hungry enough to die, but except for that I'm fine. But what's this all of a sudden? It's giving me goosebumps. Actually, I have a favor to ask you. What do you want to ask? Kill me. What are you saying? Did you commit a sin for being a perv? I get it. It's delightful that Kobasin is lusting for these girls. But it's not enough to kill you. I said I wasn't playing around. Sorry. No, it was my bad. Sorry, I shouted out of nowhere. Oh damn it, how do I explain this? Kawashikawa, are you about to die? I've been thinking all this time. When this division was born, it was our fault, right? Even if we had a little more food left, it wouldn't have been so serious. I can't deny that! Besides, until now, Kindle was guarding the arsenal, so no murder occurred. But eventually Kindle went crazy. No one is guarding the arsenal right now. If we don't make a decision now, someone will definitely commit a murder. So that's what Kawashikawa wants to say, okay. You mean that the two of us who are the most guilty will take responsibility? Honestly, I didn't want to involve you. It was me who first suggested to eat the food. I wouldn't end up by dying if I could. But I remembered Monokuma's words. A murder case must happen in order to escape the ballroom, and suicide is not accepted. In the end, you can't solve it alone. So you need someone else's help, but the person who helps you will also be bound to be executed for being the culprit. So I'll be in risk of death too. Yeah, I have no other person to suggest, only Teruya or you, who committed the same crime. But you know, me and him are in bad ways right now. Of course, I have no intention of recommending this, but the moment you accept this, you will die, Satsuki. Okay, I'll cooperate. What? I'm saying I'll do what Kobasin wants. So suddenly like this, you boy okay with this? That you're going to die? Well, even if we're in the ballroom, we're gonna die anyways. That's not what I... Rather than saying it still like this and watching my friends become murderers or starving them to death, I prefer to save everyone and die with Kobasin. Satsuki! Damn it, I'm really sorry. Because of me, you really are a good girl. However, there's one condition. What condition? I don't want to kill Kobasin, so Kobasin, kill me! What are you talking about? It's the same, no matter what way we die. But why do you want to die by my hand? If I become the culprit, I'll be executed by Monokuma then? I hate that. I'd rather be killed by Kobasin. You're going to grab a gun in the arsenal here anyway and kill me. Do you think it hurts a lot when you're shot? It's not a pain or a problem. I don't like being killed by a thing like Monokuma. You don't want to? No, there's no way I can kill you. The same goes for me. How can I kill Kobasin? Pflicht. There will be no end to this. Instead of fighting, why don't we sit down with this nonsense? That's because Kobasin first looks at me and suggests the impossible thing to kill him. If you can't, why did you accept then? Then don't do it. That's no good. I've already decided. Then kill me already. I can't do that. I really value Kobasin, so killing my friend is... I'm not happy that I'm your favorite, okay? Wow, Kobasin's face is blushing. Idiot. I'm talking about an important thing here and we're going back and forth. I'm not messing around. My stomach hurts because I haven't eaten anything. Are you okay? You know, we don't have much time either. It's the fact that I might die tomorrow. In the meantime, it's okay, maybe... in the meantime, the others may be in pain or planning a murder. Everyone's in trouble. Satsuki, what if we do it like this? Have you ever seen a Western movie? Western movie? I haven't seen it, but I know what it is. They walk back and forth in the courtyard, then turn around and shoot at the same time after some time passes. Yes, let's decide with that. Ja, und rollen auch immer so diese Bälle rum. In the worst case of this, we could kill each other, but it's still not suicide, so the others will be able to live. It's uncomfortable that I have to shoot Kobasin, but okay, that would be fair. Let's do it with that. Alright, if it's decided, let's move. Pick one pistol. Kobasin, are you still not done? What's taking you so long to pick a gun? Wait a minute, almost done. Okay, are you ready, Satsuki? I'm not a girl who goes back on their word. Besides, it seems to be more fun to decide this way. Fun, you say? I already said it again and again, but seriously. I mean, we played a lot of games so far, right? Basketball, running, poker, darts. As a result of doing my best without looking at our fights at all, the total was equal. Was it like that? I remember the results of all of our previous matches, so probably so far, Kobasin and I had 14 matches, 6 wins, 6 losses and 2 draws in perfect balance. You really have a good memory on useless places. Suddenly I thought this was the last game, so it made me feel strange. I can't believe that I'm risking my life at all. If you want to give up now, you can tell me. I really don't want to force you. No, because I'm serious too. Like you said, I'll stop playing around. Are you ready? Yeah. From here, go back and take 3 steps. We shoot at the same time after that. Okay. Wir wissen ja, wie das ausging. Satsuki! Hiko! Kawashikawa? Nein! Ich finde dieses Bild so traurig. Guckt euch an, wie sie am Weinen ist. Kawashikawa! Haruhiko! Why? Why did you do this? Good, Satsuki. The last game was my victory. That's not what I mean! Why did Kawashikawa's hand explode? Sorry. I saw it. This is unbelievable. Let's do it again. I was worried about what would happen if I died immediately in case I was hit in a bad spot. Fortunately, it looks like I'm still alive. I'll tell you what I can. Sorry, Satsuki. I lied. Because you killed me. And wanting to save everyone. That's not the truth. What? Who I really wanted to save was you, Satsuki. Me? It was useless information, so I didn't tell the others because it would just confuse them, but I was searching for a few days and I found a badge with the head of Monokuma on it. Because I found that Monokuma appeared and said he would give me the surprise in congratulating me on finding the treasure. That's the treasure Monokuma said? It was really here? Dad showed me a photo of me and you kissing, doing a selfie. Kubashikawa, even at a time like this, what kind of cloak? It's real. It shows a commemorative photo with you as my lover. You shouldn't forget. And then it vanished. Kubashikawa and Zatzat. We've never done such a thing. Zatzat. Oh mein Gott, wie süß ist das denn, Zatzat? Oh mein Gott. It's the same for me too. There are no memories of pictures of me and you, let alone kissing. We met here for the first time a month ago. But why? It doesn't feel odd. Even if that photo was a manipulation, I felt unknown emotions. And I thought that I didn't want to let you die. I have no idea what you're saying, Kubashikawa. Stop it, it's too cheesy. Put up with it. I'm already going to die anyways. I wanted to say this much. That maybe I've liked you after some point. Even if I die like this, there are guys like Kinjo, Mikao and Maeda, so they'll find out about this in a minute. So you better go back to your room. Act as usual. Pretend you don't know anything. Leave the rest to me. Why are you saying that, Kubashikawa? Stop it, stop talking! No matter how much they think, they won't know that I, the victim, did all these tricks. Part of it was to pretend to shoot you on purpose and give away my right hand. It's a pretty old gun. It can explode while pulling the trigger, even if you put normal bullets on the magazine. Kubashikawa, you can't die! No, I'm going to die. It's Satsuki, you can live. Leave it to me. I can't make someone as cheerful and happy as you die like this. Kubasing! I'm sorry for doing this in such a crappy way. And when the trial is over, tell the other guys that you're sorry too. I'm sorry that I fought with Teruya. I'm sorry for sacrificing Kinjo and the others. I'm sorry that my feelings don't want Satsuki to sacrifice herself. Oh, damn it. It hurts real badly. Kubasing, don't move, don't die! Of course, I'm doing this in order to die. Once you leave, I have to get the job done. You have to go now, before someone sees this. I hate this, this is wrong! I want to save you! Please go. Because this is my last wish, please listen. I want you to live. But... leave! Yeah, just do that. Thank you, Satsuki. Well, that was real or fake. I still loved you. Nein, das ist so traurig. I can't. Ich muss weinen, glaube ich. And then I went back to my room. Und die Musik auch noch. Ich muss gleich wirklich weinen. As Kubashikawa said, I stayed until morning. I didn't know what trick Kubashikawa was doing at the time. I wasn't sure until I heard your story in a trial. This is all I know. Like Yuki said, Kubasing was by me while intentionally trying to save me. In order to confuse you while doing so. In other words, he did everything in order to save me. What is this? This is too much! Haruhiko was apologizing to me, and I tried to kill him. I see now. If he saw the letter that's sent by Teruya, he wouldn't go to the arsenal in reverse. Nevertheless, the reason Kubashikawa went to the arsenal was because Haruhiko didn't even notice Teruya's letter from the very beginning. It was only to sacrifice himself and to save only Satsuki. Hold on, then why? Why did he do it in the same way as Teruya Otori? The gun exploded in his hand the same way. Unless he did some kind of trick and did it in advance. That's what I thought too. But when Haruhiko chose the gun, he was doing something in the corner for a long time. He was the kind of guy who was telling me that guns weren't fun or usual. So I wonder if he had some kind of knowledge about them. The stupid idiot. He really gave up his life? for others? And you just kicked the opportunity that he arranged to let you survive? What were you thinking? I don't understand this at all. I know that Kokichi liked me and he didn't want to do this. After all this, I've been struggling a lot since then. Until the class trial was held. I don't think that's the way. It's so unreasonable for all of you to die for just one person, right? I feel sorry for betraying Kokichi, but I'll be happier if you guys live. How can that be? Blood-related familiar actions are a law that puts one's life most importantly. For people you just have met. Well, I'm not as smart as Mekaru, so I don't think I can give a very cool reason for it. I just told myself that I was the culprit, because it makes me convince myself that I did this. But then why? Why didn't you say everything from the very beginning and hide the truth more suspiciously? Because you didn't even say the backstory, you just said that you're the killer. So it's a weird, confusing reasoning. Weirder, nicht weird, sorry, das war abgehakt. That was because of Kokichi. He decided to take a chance between all of you in order to save me. Because of this. Especially if Kindler finds out, it would have seemed from Kokichi's view who had already died, and they would have insulted him. I did not want to do anything that would put more disgrace on Kokichi anymore. Because he already died in order to save my life. That's why I told you at the end. Why? Nicht what? Still, don't think badly of Kokichi. He wouldn't have thought of this if it wasn't for Kokichi. We would have all died. Such a thing, it's not possible. Satsuki-chan, are you really satisfied with that? Even if we live, you will die. No, I'm fine dying, but why are you all so worried? I'm very fine with my choice, no matter what happens. Don't forget to smile. It's one of the teachings of my own brother, and it's my belief too. But after Haruhiko died, you cried, right? That's off topic, please. Let's think Satsuki wasn't Satsuki for a minute. Satsuki. Yuki, thanks to Yuki I was able to do everything. Why do I feel relieved? Ich glaube, die Musik ist rum. Oh yeah, I was impressed to see Maeda come up with the whole truth. About Kokichi. Yuki is a real teacher in my heart. Well then, Yuki. I think we can finish this file soon. Give me that thing you always do at the end. That? Yeah, that! Climax Reasoning, let's go! Wie weit sind wir? 2,5 Stunden und das Class-Trial ist vorbei. Ich glaube, ich habe beim ersten Mal wirklich geweint während der Szene. Gerade eben. Wirklich, ich fand das so sad. Ich bin keine Person, die schnell weint, auf keinen Fall. Und, ich habe den Brief ignoriert. Und, ich finde geil, wie es hier so aussieht, als wäre Satsuki größer als Kokichi. Aber hier umgekehrt. Lol. Also ich hätte jetzt wirklich rauspressen müssen zu weinen, aber ich hatte schon Tränen in den Augen. Das heißt bei mir was. Keine Ahnung, hier. Hat er nicht akzeptiert, okay, aber ich dachte eigentlich, er sagt einem dann sofort neu machen. Guckt ihn euch an. Guckt ihn euch an, wie cool er aussieht. Guckt ihn euch an. Er hat's keine Sekunde bereut. He died for a smile. Hallo? Hallo? Ach, ich war einfach nur nicht Mr. Treffsicher, okay. First, this case begins with not from the criminal, nor the victim, but from Teruya. Teruya couldn't stand the extreme situation and began working on a plan to kill Haruhiko, the victim of this case. Teruya first started to write a note to Haruhiko, asking him to come to the arsenal. This was done with the paper and pen that only Teruya had in the ballroom, where there was nothing else other than weapons. Teruya, who had finished writing the note, then puts the note through the doorframe of Haruhiko's room. This was the same way that Mitch did it in the first murder. Then Teruya, who put the note safely into the room, first entered the arsenal before Haru arrives. This was in order to do some work. Their task was to load a non-standard bullet into the pistol magazine. When a person shoots the pistol in that state, the gun explodes from the inside and destroys the hand of the person who used it. Teruya used this method to let Haru use the gun and thinking of making him shoot, and that's the reason he went into the arsenal, before anyone else. Having done everything he needed to do, Teruya quickly returned to his room and waited for Haru to come out of the room. Teruya's plan was to enter the arsenal later on with Haru. However, as Teruya returns to his room and stays on watch of the hallway, he fell asleep due to accumulated fadage. This was all the influence Teruya had on this case. Oh god. Meanwhile, at that time, Haruhiko was probably having a lot of trouble thinking in his room. As we last heard, Haru was already planning to save someone dear to them, at the cost of his own life. Originally, he feels responsible for running out of food. The discovery of the treasure was triggered to start his life-threatening plan. As the situation gets more and more extreme, Haruhiko feels like he can't wait any longer and begins acting. He decided to meet with the person who was chosen as the culprit for this case. At this time, whether Haruhiko saw Teruya's note or not is uncertain, but it's very likely he didn't pay attention to it in the first place, because he was immersed in his own thoughts. Haruhiko's plan was also a plan that took place in the arsenal, but if he saw the note calling him into the arsenal, he wouldn't have had it there in the first place, either by luck or misfortune. If Teruya hadn't fallen asleep, a fairly complicated mess would have unfolded. After a while, Haruhiko safely met the culprit. Until then, the culprit hadn't even realized the true purpose of the case. Haruhiko asked the culprit to quietly follow them into the arsenal. They went into the arsenal side by side. Wie creepy mit dem Auge, Alter! Und dieser Sound noch. One may have thought no one would know, but in fact, all of the actions that Teruya and these two were doing while walking around, the coward up to this point were being shown to Kurokawa. She wasn't sleeping from the very start and was keeping watch of the hallway. In reality, it was Kurokawa that up most of the world into solving the mystery of this case. Because Teruya went to sleep, the killer and Haru entered the arsenal without anyone's interference. Only then Haruhiko, who was alone with the culprit, confessed his feelings for them. I think it went this way. Someone was going to do the murder and asked them to kill themselves before that to save everyone. This is what they asked the culprit to do. Once they accept, the culprit would also be executed for committing a murder. It was certain death, so Haruhiko didn't want to force them into making such a difficult task. But the culprit did not hesitate to respond to Haru's proposal. However, the culprit refused to kill Haruhiko himself. Conversely, they told Haruhiko to kill them instead. Haruhiko did not want to kill the culprit as the culprit did not want to kill him, and they kept arguing to each other in vain for a while. Haruhiko, who felt there would be no end after going like this, was determined to make a fair suggestion to both sides and ask a decision to shoot each other at the same time, just like a game in a western movie. In the worst case scenario, both could have been shot and died by each other's hand. It didn't violate the two's goal of saving the others, so the culprit agreed with this proposal and began preparing. The culprit and Haruhiko were choosing a gun for each other, and we heard that Haruhiko was in the corner of the room. It was probably to manipulate the magazine with the bullets at his face. We all know the very consequences of this. Indeed, Haruhiko did the same thing Teruya did earlier. It was to load it with non-standard bullets. How Haruhiko did the same thing as Teruya, I'm not exactly sure whether it was coincidence or not. Maybe it was because Haruhiko had a lot of interest in firearms from the beginning, so I think he accidentally came up with that method by pure chance. Either way, there's only one reason Haruhiko did this. He didn't want to shoot the culprit. Two of them, ready to go, stand a few steps away and pointed their guns at each other after turning around. But even though the culprit sincerely tried to shoot Haruhiko, he was going to lose to them from the very beginning. And so, as Haruhiko intended, his hand was destroyed at the time, and he was shot by the culprit at the same time. The culprit, who couldn't understand the situation, went to Haruhiko, and Haru told him the truth. It wasn't us that Haru wanted to save. It was the culprit himself. Habe ich eigentlich eine Formel auf der richtigen Lautstärke? Ja, habe ich. Although Haruhiko was dying, he was hoping that the culprit would survive, and he said he would do and west to save them, since he was still breathing, to do one last act. The culprit was unconvinced, but soon they decided to accept Haruhiko's last request, and left Haru to do the job once they got out of the arsenal. Of course, the trail of this was also being monitored by Kurokawa. After confirming that the culprit was safely gone, Haruhiko began the final cleanup by keeping his short life as much as he could. First, Haruhiko picked up the flash and smoke grenades from the arsenal. And likewise, put a wooden plank inside the arsenal door between the handles, and then put the flash and smoke grenades on top of it. This could only be done by the people inside, and thanks to that, there was a lot of difficulty when we tried to reason it out. The plank served to make the door to be forced open by being crushed, causing the grenades on top to naturally fall on the floor and activate. Subsequently, Haruhiko started messing around in the arsenal to make it look like the culprit did it, although it didn't connect to anything. And as a result of repeating a series of processes of blocking the door and cluttering the interior, Haruhiko's bloodstains were all over the place inside the arsenal, creating an unnatural bloodstain like a path of blood. Ah, ich hatte es tatsächlich so in Erinnerung, dass er da absichtlich irgendwie so hin und her gegangen ist, damit es noch weiter Verwirrung stiftet. Aber anscheinend hatte ich das falsch in Erinnerung. Haru, who finished everything just before his life ends, reached to his feeling of satisfaction, because he was able to save someone they cherished. And in the end, later in the trial, the culprit confessed by their own will. However, we weren't able to know that it was Haruhiko who planned all of this. All of this happened at dawn, and later in the morning, Tabuya and I broke into the arsenal and Haruhiko's body was found. In fact, in this case, the person who would be called the culprit was close to Haruhiko, the culprit who just lost his life, was the victim himself, who actually finished this trick. But in the end, Haruhiko wanted to save the culprit, even at the cost of his life. The culprit of this incident. The identity of the killer, who Haruhiko cherished and wanted him to live so much. Ich hab mich so erschrocken, weil es plötzlich alles rot wurde. Satsuki Iwanami, it was you! Perfect! Indeed! Maeda has a good reasoning, but maybe you have a talent for organizing cases too? I'm not happy at all. Satsuki Iwanami. Satsuki-chan. Why is your mood so sad? I didn't go out to see you like this. Satsuki, you've always been like that. You're a strong girl. Much more stronger than me. Is that a compliment? I don't know if it's strength or not, but even at times like this... it's my goal to be happy, even in the worst atmosphere. Well then, Maeda's reasoning is over now. Shall we get to the voting time? Satsuki, can you really do that? To just die and not being scared? Oh, ich muss mal ganz kurz hinstellen. I don't want to die, of course I'm scared. But it's already gone water. What else can I do but to accept it? At least not all of you will die, because you all can live by sacrificing only one. I'm satisfied with that. Sie ist so niedlich, ich liebe sie. Wirklich, ich liebe sie. Okay, Frage, wie lange werden wir heute brauchen? Insgesamt 3 Stunden? Ich schätze mit 3 Stunden. Yes! Okay, das sind einige Medaillen. Okay, damit werde ich mir auf jeden Fall Skills kaufen können. Ich hoffe, ich kann nach dem scheiß Trial endlich den Skill von Dings holen. Wie heißt der? Yamaguchi. Und die Inoue Skill würde ich mir auch gern holen. Hey, Mr. Iwanami, why do you keep trying to go ahead of the trial here? I'm the host! Oh well, it doesn't matter. It seems like you guys reached a conclusion. And that's all. Now you guys, vote with the switch in front of your hands. Who will be chosen as the blackened? And your answer, will it be the correct answer or the wrong one? Now then, what's it gonna be? Ich schaue sie mir gerade an, ich habe sie als Hintergrund auf meiner Alexa. Okay, der Hintergrund hat sich gerade geändert, ich habe da nämlich auch eine Dia-Show, aber sie ist so eine Süße. Die Ultimate Clown. So ein besonderer Charakter. Ich werde sie vermissen. Ich werde sie VW vermissen. recording ended anonymously. The culprit of this case and the black in this, the identity of the black and who killed Kobashi was Miss Satsuki Iwanami. You guys were right, congratulations. Actually, what is with this case? A murder case that is not a murder. If I knew it would be like this, I would have made the rules more thoroughly. Hey, isn't it already too late? Nicht mal Mekaro hat was zu sagen. Hey, everyone? You guys are doing it badly. I, as the person in charge of this party, can't you please be a little brighter? There's no way I can be happy! Satsuki-san is going to die now! Because it's painful. Satsuki worked so hard for us following her own life. We couldn't do anything after reaching this point. You're wrong! It's not that you can't do anything! Satsuki? Yuki, didn't I tell you before? Hope is not to be found, but to be created. You know why I decided to save you all by sacrificing myself? Because that was my own way of creating hope. What do you mean? If I survived by myself, it would have been meaningless to live in a world where there's no fun and no kubasing around. And more than anything, my power to defeat that guy is not enough. Oh? I'm smiling right now, but I'm more angry than anyone inside. I hate the mastermind, don't you guys? We're being treated like this because of that big dummy. If it wasn't for him, Klikawa wouldn't have died. Maki died, Higa died, Tomori died, Hatano died. Yamaguchi wouldn't have died, Inoue wouldn't have died, or Uehara either. We know that even if we don't say it. If it wasn't for Monokuma's influence, we would have entered Hope's Academy safely and have a pleasant school life. That's right! Although more than half of our friends have already died. We want to defeat Monokuma no matter what happens. I want to punish it, I want to smash it! Hey! Why are you saying all that stuff in front of someone else's face? So, I bet my own hope on all of you. On us? I never wanted much. I'll be leaving this world soon. I left off one thing. No wait, please promise me two things. 1! Be sure to survive, for kabashing at me. 2! That Monokuma guy, please give it good beating to that mastermind. For bad revenge. Satsuki-san! This is bad, really bad. You dare agitate the students as you want in front of me. The headmaster of the school even insult me in my presence. Annoying! Anyways, Miss Iwanami. Miss Iwanami was chosen as the black, so she's to be punished in the end. You won't make fun of me anymore, but I'm done with you. In that regard, I have prepared a very special punishment for Satsuki Iwanami, the ultimate clown, for your crime. Come on, give it your best shot. I'm not afraid of anything like you. My friends will definitely kick your sorry butt. Wait, Satsuki, you don't need to be executed. I'd rather die. It's my fault too. I'm a sinner too. It was me who tried to commit a murder. I'm supposed to die. Monokuma, execute me. Satsuki has done nothing wrong. Now then, let's go! A very hard-pulling punish! Monokuma, hold on a minute! Time... what? Jeez, you're tipsy! I'm way in the mood. Let me say to my friends a few last words. Teruya, didn't someone tell you? No one is bad. Monokuma is the bad thing here. Everything is because of that thing. If Teruya keeps feeling guilty, then try harder to catch the mastermind. You didn't need to be sorry at all, but if you die and make atonement, then that's the end. Satsuki. And for you, Taiwa. Taiwa is strong. You have a very strong heart to overcome Ayame's death. Please keep supporting everyone like you always do. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Satsuki-san. Thank you. Next is Mikao. It's the first time I've seen Mikao act so surprised. I don't know what makes her so surprised about, but as long as Kinzo is in that shape, everyone needs a genius like Mikao. I kinda know that. I know this is kinda of an unreasonable request, but please try to cooperate with everyone. Find the mastermind who brought this terrible misfortune on all of his victims. And Kurokawa... Stop! Shut up! Who said I was waiting for your long speech? Don't say anything disgusting with the smell of hope. Punishment time begins! That's too much. When the villain is found out, you're supposed to wait for them. Let's go hard! Punishment time! Kurokawa and Maeda, I didn't get to say anything to you guys, but I leave the rest to you guys! Oh, and one more thing I almost forgot! Kubasing, I love you! Und ich fand die Execution richtig traurig. Die Execution hat mich damals so fertig gemacht, ich weiß das noch, Alter. Ich war 3 Tage traurig deswegen. Obwohl, ich glaube, es gibt andere Dinge in dem Spiel, die mich traurig gemacht haben, aber dazu kommen wir in den nächsten Parts. Das wird... Ich kann euch sagen, dass es nicht das Traurigste ist in diesem Spiel. Sie sieht richtig aus wie eine Brat auf dieser Zeichnung. Okay, hier nicht. Hier sieht sie literally aus wie ein Kind. Guckt euch sie an. Guck mal, wie sie am Lächeln ist. Warum spuckst du Blut, wenn du abgestochen wirst? Satsuki Crisis. Satsuki Iwanami, Ultimate Clown. Sorry, ne, aber das hat sie nicht verdient und ich finde, das ist die schlimmste Execution in dem Spiel. Sorry, also irgendwie finde ich das die schlimmste Execution, keine Ahnung warum. Ich meine, guckt euch das an, alles ist voll mit Blut. Und dann siehst du es noch von da oben tropfen. Und dann siehst du nur, wie sie da oben hängt. Ich finde das so traurig, auch die Musik. Monokuma, du Arschloch! They ended up like that, trying to play a hopeless game. Adios, funny wet-nosed lady. Satsuki-san, no! Damn it, damn it! What do you think? Sad, right? Desperate, isn't it? What a lame hope! You guys won't be able to do a thing before you punish me! No, it isn't. What was that? Maeda? Who says I'm desperate? I'm not like that at all, right? Maeda-kun? Of course I'm really sad that Satsuki died. If we have fully inherited Satsuki's will, you won't stop us anymore! After I came to Optic Academy, I'm more full of fighting spirit than ever! Monokuma! Did you suddenly take your medicine? There's nothing scary about burning raw spirit alone, though! He's not alone. Mekaru? From this moment on, I will retract my previous solo actions. I'll cooperate to put Monokuma into the trash. Oh my god, Mekaru-chan? What kind of change is this? Don't be mistaken. I'm not trying to play friends here. I know all you adapt. Because of that, I have to pay it off. Ich hab was im Hals stecken, Hilfe. Why is Miss Mekaru suddenly doing this again? Miss Mekaru just needs to do as well as before, poking around and having fun. Why should you care about Miss Iwanami? Shut the hell up! Satsuki Iwanami is a human being that deserves respect. I've seen this for the first time ever since I was born in this world. To be able to give up one's life so purely for others, that is what I would call true hope. It was a life that guy tried to save anyways. I'm fed up with murder games that are not fun. Murder games that are getting boring. Doesn't that seem like the perfect time to beat you down, Monokuma? No, rather, the mastermind controlling you from the shadows. Huh? No matter what you try, you can't do anything. It's already beyond your own grasp. No. It was you who kept us in the ballroom. We made up our minds. Right before they died. You will run out of ideas. You already know a lot more about you than before. Now it is you who's cornered. Well, I don't know, but everyone is working hard. So I will too. I'll do my share for Haruhiko's sake. Me too. We will definitely get you, Monokuma. I'll avenge my friends who have died so far. What's with these guys? Rather than despair, they're burning with fight alone. You guys are bluffing. You can't do a thing anyways. You will find out soon that you're only left with despair. Das war's. Das war das Last Trial. Part ist aber noch nicht vorbei. Wir sind bei 2,49, Alter. Das ganze Post-Trial-Gelaber ging ja viel länger als alles andere, habe ich das Gefühl. And so, the fourth class trial ended. We lost two of our friends, Haruhiko and Satsuki, who couldn't be exchanged for everything. The will that the two gave us was definitely engraved in our very souls. We were not afraid. Step by step from now on will be a big leap towards true hope. Jo, rast doch nicht so aus, Alter. Haben wir nicht auch eigentlich eine Klingel? Muss der so gegen die Tür hämmern? Also er hämmert ja richtig. Bam, bam, bam. Kindlo? Kindlo, can you hear me? Answer me if you're awake. Immediately after leaving the courtroom, Mikao, who finally offered to cooperate with us, disappeared before we could call her. Geil, Alter, Peak Corporation. Everyone except for Mikao went to check on Kindlo's condition. However, Kindlo was silent. We had no choice but to go back to each of our rooms with a little shuddered feeling. Jo. Reicht doch. Who is it? Is it morning? It's not even 7 a.m. Hey, come out already, Maeda. Alter, rast doch nicht so aus, Junge. What? Wait a minute. Du bist. Why did you take so long to answer? Was it because you feed information to the mastermind? Mikao? What? That's a moody expression you got. No, it was just Mikao coming to my room. I wonder if the sky's gonna divide in two now. It can't be hard. As I mentioned yesterday, I decided to cooperate with you in order to defeat the mastermind. I know that, but why did you suddenly change your mind? I told you, I'm going to follow Iwanami's idea. I thought it was a great person, but Iwanami is more than that. Just because she's a human who can... As if, Maeda, don't make me say useless things. You're already drowned in every story, aren't you? Sorry. Also, now you're calling me by my name now. So, are you dissatisfied? Want to be called incompetent for the rest of your life? No, of course not. It's better to be called by my own name. It was a bit embarrassing to be nicknamed incompetent, though it was accurate. I haven't admitted it yet. I don't want to be friends, but I want to have the least courtesy. As long as I have decided to cooperate. Mikao tends to be weird like this. Usually she looks down on us and ignores us. But she doesn't do it recklessly. She admits something that can be admitted whenever necessary. Stop talking about nonsense. Come to my room right now. What? Mikao's room? What are we doing today? Suddenly asking for that. I don't care if you got feelings for me, so shut up and follow me. I'm getting tired already. Oh, meine Freunde sind auch hier. Oh, Wei-chan, did you bring Maeda-kun? Tyra, Otori and Kurokawa too. Hey, don't do that shit show. How many times must I repeat that you're not my friends? Everyone, what happened? It looks like Mikao came out of her room and dawned and called us by one. Teruya, those goggles. This one, it was Haru's. It was left in the dressing room. I brought it. This is an atonement for myself and also my own commitment to continue Haru's will. We need to move forward. That's right. The effort Kawashikawa-kun and Satsuki-san. We should never forget. The will of our friends who have died so far. But we can't just be sad anymore. Now's the time for us to fight back. Bit by bit. Very little, but something is starting to change and starts to move. Our hope is to not find it, but to create it. Only these words struck in my mind. So, why did you call us? This is an operational meeting. As long as I have decided to cooperate, everyone here will beat up Monokuma, and together we shall escape. Wait-chan, being an ally makes you feel so reliable now. Everyone here. Wait, then what do we do about Kindlo? When I look at that guy, he's a statue. Doesn't respond to anything, and I don't even know if he will ever wake up, but... even if he wakes up, I'm not certain if he will ever recover. Then... of course, if we have him, you should be comfortable, but throw away your lingering regrets. We have no choice but to strike out. Because I felt the fighting spirit from you, I chose to cooperate. Junge, ich hab schon wieder dieses Schmeichelaufkommen, Alter. Mikao is staying away from us till now. Have you found out something? A lot of pile of things. Those of you who have not found anything are more curious. First off... wait a minute, there can be a surveillance camera here too. Are you okay with that? Are you an idiot? Of course I know. That's why I called you into my own room. My room's the only one that can jam surveillance cameras. To put it bluntly, it's instant jamming. Instant jamming? Toriko, do you know what he's saying? Not at all. In short, my room is safe. The words he will not be leaked to the mastermind and our appearance is not visible. Really? Amazing! How did you do it? Power room, audio visuals room. and I assembled some useful parts from the warehouse. That's how I made it. It's only a temporary measure, so even if it's not perfect, it'll be safe. Mikaru, you just didn't spend time alone. Of course not. You better thank me for inviting you. So, the first goal is to find out the identity of the mastermind. Of course, that is the most important thing, but before that, let's look at the preconditions. Preconditions? Why did we get involved in this division? I mean, that's the biggest mystery. Why did Hope's Academy become this way? Why doesn't anyone come to save us? But that's the first thing we said with the others, right? At that time, both Kinjo and Mikaru, but no conclusion was reached. No, unlike them, there's one fact I do know. At first, I thought it wasn't hypothesis, because it was nonsense, but I was convinced after yesterday. Mikaru, you don't mean? Yes. It's a fact. A considerable amount of time has already passed since we entered the school. And the truth is, we don't remember it. Alles gut mit dir? Mikako-chan? Also, I knew you would react when we talked about this, Mikako Kurokawa. What? What's this all of a sudden? I'm obviously deeply grateful to Satsuki, and thanks to her I was told to cooperate in order to punish the mastermind. But before that, there's a traitor we must catch. Mikako Kurokawa, you know something. Honestly, I'm dubious about your true nature. Tell me everything you know. If you can't, then I'll consider you on the mastermind side. No way! Is this true? Wie die beiden sich auch direkt von ihr entfernen, so. This is nonsense, right? No. Trust me. If you're innocent, tell me the facts that you know. If you don't... sorry. You do know that there's not only one or two suspicious actions you've done so far, right? Why did you shut your mouth? Are there any circumstances that you can tell us? Mikaru, don't do too much. Don't... Isn't that too much? Kurokawa has to calm down before... Hello everyone, it's morning, 7 AM, it's wake up time. Let's have a lively one today too. Morning announcement, it's already 7 AM. That's not a problem right now. A body has been discovered. Der kann ja gar nicht, wir chillen ja alle im selben Raum. Oh right, almost forgot. I don't know if everyone had a good night, but I want everyone to please go to the gym. I have some great news to inform you. See you soon. What? I leave this story for later. But just so you know, I won't move on this time. Mikako Kurokawa. What's the great news? It's only been a day since the trial was over and suddenly... We just have to go, we have no choice. Mikaru and Kurokawa, the air that seemed to flow smoothly, got tense in an instant. In this tense mood, Monokuma shows up to add even more anxiety. We all go to the gym, as Monokuma said, without concealing the unpleasantness. There was a reality waiting for us that we could not imagine. Und das, was jetzt kommt, ganz kurz, ist der Plot-Twist, der mir gespoilert wurde, weil ich aus Versehen einen Spielstand geöffnet habe, der schon in Chapter 5 gestartet ist. The first thing we knew, as soon as we entered the gym, was that Kinjo didn't come. If Monokuma didn't say anything, it only means he still fainted. But that fact is so casually forgotten because a more shocking scene unfolded in the gym. Huh? Who? A guy? Geht's dir gut? Der Typ sieht aus wie ein Seemann. Everyone is here! The class trial ended yesterday, but I'm sorry for calling again so suddenly, but no matter what, there were things I had to tell you. It's a bit early, but I'll announce the motive. A surprise motive event, introducing the transfer student. This time I transferred to Hope's Academy, the ultimate inventor, Yamato Kisawagi-kun. Please greet him with an applause. Kisawagi? Nonsense! Yamato ni... A suspicious figure who suddenly appeared as a transfer student. With his appearance, The situation began to unfold like a roller coaster. Und das war Chapter 4! Oh yeah! Okay, Freunde, ja, wir starten im nächsten Part mit Chapter 5 und ich sag euch eine Sache, Chapter 5 ist so ein geiles Chapter. Wirklich, ab jetzt, das Spiel nimmt ab jetzt richtig Fahrt auf. Kann ich euch versprechen. Ab jetzt LMAO. Aber jetzt wird's richtig heftig. Kann ich euch versprechen. Also, kann ich noch irgendwas sagen? Ja, ich weiß es nicht. Ein Chapter 5, also ab jetzt kommen nur noch geile Parts. Okay, Freunde. Kann ich noch speichern? Ich hätte jetzt fast Alter 4 gedrückt, Alter. Das wäre schlecht gewesen. Düsseldorf. Aufnahme beenden.